Chapter 1111. Master Mistress. Lu Chantian, who was waiting at the entrance of the cave, bowed respectfully when he saw Lin Rei and Lu Chantian come out. Long Ming, who followed behind Lu Chantian, also saw Lin Rei. However, the moment he saw Lin Rei, his mind went blank and he was dumbfounded. Lin Rei was too young, and Lu Chantian called a master. Apart from Lin Rei, he knew Huiyun, so he could be sure that Lin Rei was the master that Lu Chantian mentioned and the son that Huiyun mentioned. "What are you doing?" Feeling Long Ming beside him, Lu Chantian quickly reached out and poked Long Ming. That. After being poked by Lu Chantian, Long Ming came back to his senses and quickly said to Lin Rei and Huiyun, "Greetings, senior madam." Even so, Long Ming's heart was still in a state of confusion. He still couldn't believe it. He didn't want to believe that such a young child was the master of Lu Chantian, a revered martial artist. "All right, save these red tape if you can." Looking at the two, Lin Rei shook his head helplessly. Lin Rei looked at Long Ming. He could see Long Ming's expression, and he could understand his thoughts. Lin Rei felt helpless about this. After all, cultivators wouldn't age for free. Of course, this wasn't the case for all cultivators. When they entered the nascent soul stage, they would have a choice. Most people would choose to make themselves younger, but these people were different. After looking at Long Ming for a long time, Lin Rei said, "You are very good. In the future, follow my mother. I will not treat you unfairly." With that, he took out a bottle from his arms and casually threw it at Long Ming. "This is a bottle of healing pills. The effect is much better than what you ate before. As long as you don't lose an arm or a leg, even if you are left with a breath, it can be cured." "This is really for me?" Long Ming, who understood the value of this bottle of medicinal pills, looked at the bottle in his hand in a daze. He felt like he was dreaming. He originally thought that this kind of pill was the kind that was especially precious and difficult to refine. However, he estimated that there were at least 10 of them in the bottle before him. Seeing Long Ming like this, Lu Chantian couldn't help but say, "Just take these. My master has many things in his heart. He can even eat them like candy." Bang! As soon as he said that, there was a muffled sound. Lu Chantian, who was originally beside Long Ming, was nowhere to be seen. This! In the distance, Lu Chantian fell to the ground. Long Ming regained his senses and scanned his surroundings. Seeing Lu Chantian's current appearance, cold sweat broke out on his forehead. In his heart, he began to reevaluate Lin Rei's temper. He remembered that Lu Chantian didn't seem to have said anything just now. Of course, Lin Rei didn't know what Long Ming was thinking. He looked at Lu Chantian in the distance. Lin Rei said with a pained heart, "You prodigal thing. Do all my things come as fast as the wind?" The sudden change in tone made the surrounding people unable to accept it. Only Shui Ling Tian and the Min siblings understood Lin Rei's character a little. After all, they had been together for a long time. If you don't manage the family, you don't know the cost of daily necessities. Do you think this kind of medicinal pill is easy to refine? You can eat as much as you want. You are really generous. The voice didn't stop. "Let me tell you, if I hear this sentence again in the future, I will crush you to death. Otherwise, you can go refine pills for me yourself." Of course, the truth was not like what Lin Rei said. This kind of medicinal pill was indeed like what Lu Chantian said. He could eat as much as he wanted. But what was rare was that there weren't many spiritual herbs in this destiny world. The medicinal pills in Long Ming's hand were all his savings. Voila! When Lin Rei's words reached Lu Chantian's ears, Lu Chantian got up from the ground with a bitter expression. The gravel on his body slid to the ground. He looked particularly miserable. "Master!" He looked at Lin Rei with an aggrieved expression. He didn't expect Lin Rei to kick him in front of so many people. Even Huiyun couldn't stand it anymore. She reached out and patted Lin Rei. She ordered, "Rei, little Tian is just saying, why do you have to take it seriously? Besides, pills are meant to be eaten once they are refined. What's the point of leaving them there?" Lin Rei, looking at his mother, Lin Rei was even more speechless. He wanted to refute, but when he saw his mother's threatening gaze, he didn't dare to speak again. Okay, let's stop talking. Let's hurry up and eat. With Hui Yun's interference, everything returned to how it was before. Lin Rei didn't say anything else. He followed Hui Yun to the bonfire and sat down. He stretched out his hand, and a wave of spirit energy rushed out. He used his spirit energy to cut off the most delicious part of the demonic beast. He used his spirit energy to form a knife and cut off the most delicious part of the demonic beast. Then, he used his spirit energy to form a hand and cut off the basin-sized demonic beast meat in front of Hui Yun. Lin Rei's ability really made everyone envious. Xie Feng's method was something that even martial god couldn't do. Of course, Xueling Tian was different from Hui Yun and the others. He snorted disdainfully at Lin Li's actions. It must be known that he had inherited the legacy of a primordial bloodworm. This sort of small trick had been learned when he was still a child. No, that wasn't right. He had learned it when he was just born. Just like this, everyone began to eat. Along the way, Hui Yun asked about the Min siblings. Lin Rei truthfully told Hui Yun everything, even though he had mentioned it in the cave before. As for Xueling Tian, Lin Rei said that he was a demonic beast pet. Xueling Tian was very angry because of this, but under Lin Rei's tyrannical abuse, that anger was forcibly suppressed in his heart. Just as everyone was eating happily, Lin Rei looked at Lu Chantian and suddenly asked, "Little Tian, what do you plan to do about the matter you told me before?" "Kill." Without the slightest emotion, he directly spat out a word. His killing intent soared to the sky. "Kill." Seeing Lu Chantian's change, Lin Rei frowned slightly. His heart was heavy. Before, Lu Chantian was not such a murderous person. Just a moment ago, his killing intent soared to the sky. This kind of killing intent had completely exceeded his previous limits. Lin Rei, who was deeply persecuted by the killing intent, did not want Lu Chantian to participate in this matter. However, Lu Chantian's next words made Lin Rei dispel his thoughts. "Master, these people can only be completely obedient by killing the chicken to warn the monkey. Of course, the most important thing is to kill the chicken to warn the monkey. This is not a simple killing." "Oh, continue." "The royal family. As long as we destroy the royal family, or even kill a martial god, it will be a very shocking matter to this world. At that time, we will spread the news of the Lin family. At that time, we will be afraid that those rascals will have designs on the Lin family." Lu Chantian did not hide his words from the surrounding people. Hui Yun naturally heard it and nodded in agreement. "I agree with little Tian's words. After all, the Lin family is facing so many people. This is good. With the royal family of the Guang Yun Empire, no one will touch our Lin family in the future." Looking at his mother, looking at Lu Chantian, Lin Rei also agreed. However, if this was the case, he would have to take action. After all, he was present. While thinking, he suddenly thought of something and turned to look at the blood spirit sky. The corner of his mouth rose, and a smile appeared. "Damn, don't look at me. I'm your pet monster. I don't have any combat ability, so don't look at me." Chapter 11-12. Lin Li immediately knew what Blood Spirit Sky was thinking. Seeing that Blood Spirit Sky was refusing, the good look on his face instantly disappeared. His face was gloomy, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. Lin Rei's aura suddenly changed. Blood Spirit Sky was stunned and took a step back, not daring to meet Lin Rei's gaze. "Are you sure you don't want to help?" Lin Rei asked. Even though Lin Rei had already controlled the temperature, the moment he spoke, the temperature plummeted. Even the bonfire was useless. Sensing the change in temperature, Xueling Tian subconsciously opened his mouth to reject Zhang Xian's offer, but he found himself unable to utter a single word. It was as if a fishbone was stuck in his throat, and his heart was thumping furiously. "I'll give you one more chance to reorganize your words. I'm a very humanitarian person." Blood Spirit Sky, speechless. "Humanitarian? You're the most inhumane person there is." Of course, Blood Spirit Sky only thought about this in his heart. If he really put it out in the open, he wouldn't dare to say it out loud. Lin Rei didn't say anything, but his murderous gaze was fixed on Blood Spirit Sky. Blood Spirit Sky swore that he wouldn't see it a second time. Fine, I'll help you. In the end, Blood Spirit Sky compromised, not because of Lin Ray, but because of Tsang Long. That's all you want. Looking at the Blood Spirit Sky, Linley let out a cold snort, then turned his head to look at Lu Changtian. His cold face had disappeared, replaced by a gentle look. As the saying went, a woman's face and the weather in June could change at will. But in the eyes of the Blood Spirit Sky, what woman's face and the weather in June? Linley's face was even more beautiful than a woman's. Little Sky, we'll do as you say. Kill the chicken to warn the monkey. First, we'll target the imperial family of Guangyun Empire. Understanding the importance of this matter, Lu Changtian stood up and bowed. Yes, remember, don't leave a single imperial child alive. A murderous intent emerged. The moment the people sitting by the bonfire felt this murderous intent, their bodies felt as if they had fallen into a 10,000-year-old ice cave. Lei's training is growing more and more powerful. Enduring the discomfort in his body, Firecloud looked at Linley as he thought to himself, yes, I understand. And this is the truth that I have imparted to you. Don't stop. This will be very important for your future. As the saying goes, even if a wildfire doesn't burn it out, it will grow again when the spring breeze blows. Only by exterminating a clan and not leaving behind any future troubles will they not suffer in the future. After he finished speaking, he looked at Huiyun beside him. His originally cold gaze softened the moment he saw Huiyun. Lu Changtian listened attentively and agreed with Lin Ray's words. In this world of cannibalism and survival of the fittest, it was either you killed or they killed. If you didn't want to suffer in the future, then you had to kill your enemy. Only then could you be at ease. Master, I will remember this. Looking at Lu Changtian's current state, Lin Ray nodded in satisfaction. That's good. This time, there's a martial god-level cultivator among the royalty. You shouldn't be a match for him. After saying that, he grabbed Shui Lingtian and threw him in front of Lu Changtian. He continued, bring him along. He will deal with the martial god. As for Li Huangdao, if you can't even defeat him, then you will be embarrassing me. You should be more careful. If you embarrass me, the bonfire will be very serious. Lin Ray's threatening tone left Lu Changtian speechless. In the end, he could only brace himself and say, I understand. I will definitely not embarrass you, master. Although he said that, he didn't want it to happen. Thinking of Li Huangdao, Lu Changtian wanted to cry. Master, you really dare to say that. The opponent is a martial saint. I am just a small martial saint. Are you sure I am a match for him? Aren't you afraid that I won't be a match for him and will be killed? Lu Changtian had thought about this before. However, he also wanted to test his true strength. After all, he still didn't know where his true strength lay. Yes, good. Then I will leave this matter to you. You must do it beautifully. Remember, you must let the entire Destiny realm know that I, Lin Ray, am a man. They can't touch me. If they do, they will die. In the Destiny realm, the various empires and sects didn't know that chaos was about to arrive. And the initiator of this chaos was Lin Ray from the God Realm. Of course, this wasn't his intention. He just wanted to take revenge and teach them a lesson. However, he didn't consider that the destruction of an empire meant that the other empires and sects would be jealous. Just like how the Guanyin Empire was a piece of juicy meat, the other three empires and sects were also sharing it. For this piece of juicy meat, they didn't hesitate to kill those who stood in their way. It could even be said that they didn't hesitate to start a war. The temptation of this piece of juicy meat was so great that they forgot that the ones who would suffer in the end were the ordinary people of the Destiny realm. Or rather, they didn't care at all. In their eyes, the ordinary people of the Destiny realm were like ants. Since they couldn't live, they should just die. Inside the palace of the Guangyun Empire, Li Huangdao's face turned gloomy when he heard the report from his subordinate. You said that the Lu family's territory was divided by the Long family? Li Huangdao obviously didn't expect this outcome. He originally believed that the Lu family would return to the imperial family after they were destroyed. But now, yes, everything I said is true, Li Huangdao said. Below him, a middle-aged man reported with a trembling voice. The Long family. I gave him face. To think that they would take a fancy to the emperor's things. Thinking of the Long family, Li Huangdao's killing intent surged. Previously, the Lu family had stepped in to suppress them, so Li Huangdao was at ease. But now the Lu family was gone. Which family in the imperial capital could compete with the Long family? No, in the entire imperial capital, only the imperial family could restrain the Long family. No other family could restrain the Long family. Even before the rise of the Lu family, the Long family was the most influential family in the imperial capital. How could this be? What happened to the Lu family? Why did the emperor want to divide the Lu family? At this moment, in a corner outside the main hall, Lu Linglong stood there with a dazed expression on her face. Lu Linglong didn't come from the beginning. She only came when she heard that the Lu family had been divided. She was originally happy to come and share the joy of her breakthrough with Li Huangdao. But now, was she happy? No, she wasn't happy. She was even very depressed. A bad premonition surged in her heart. She couldn't stop her tears from falling. She covered her mouth with both hands to prevent herself from making a sound. As a smart woman, Lu Linglong knew when to advance and when to retreat. She still didn't know what happened to the Lu family. It was too early to say anything now. Thinking of this, she glanced at Li Huangdao in the main hall and turned to leave. The reluctance in her eyes was completely gone at this moment. Chapter 11:13. Li Huangdao did not know that his most beloved woman, Lu Linglong, had returned while he was in a meeting. He was currently in a rage and naturally did not know that Lu Linglong had returned. Fengsu Palace, the palace where Lu Linglong resided. In the entire palace, other than Li Huangdao's heavenly palace, Fengsu Palace was the most luxurious palace. Demonic beasts similar to Paishio were placed around the palace to guard it. If one looked closely, one would see that the 16 pillars of the palace were made of black gold. One could imagine how luxurious it was. Black gold. This pillar was worth more than 10 million. Although the Guanyin Empire was an empire, it was not a waste built on gold. The Fengsu Hall wasn't originally like this. It was only after Lu Linglong arrived and Li Huangdao doted on her that he found someone to build it. In order to prevent others from finding out, the outside of the hall was painted with a layer of black paint to cover it up. In Fengsu Palace, Lu Linglong returned from Li Huangdao's place. The worry on her face was even more intense. Go and investigate. Find out what happened to the Lu family during this time. Find out if they're safe. At this moment, Lu Linglong spoke to the air. If anyone was here, they would definitely think that she was crazy. However, just as Lu Linglong finished speaking, a figure flashed and appeared in the direction Lu Linglong was looking at. Plop! The moment the figure appeared, he knelt in front of Lu Linglong with a face full of respect. Mistress! Actually, the man looked like he wanted to say something but stopped. His expression showed that he could not bear it. You! Lu Linglong was not stupid. How could she not know the man's expression? Her heart shook violently. She let out a long breath and tried to calm herself down. She said, Lil 8, you have been following me since I was young. You should know my temper. Tell me, what happened to the Lu family? At this moment, Lu Linglong was basically certain that something had happened to the Lu family. Moreover, this change was not small. Otherwise, with how much Li Huangdao doted on her, it was impossible for him to not do anything. The man kneeling on the ground looked up at his mistress. His eyes shook and he hesitated. He could not help but hesitate. Although he understood Lu Linglong's character and knew that Lu Linglong was very mature in some matters, but only when it came to the Lu family. If Lu Linglong knew that something had happened to the Lu family, he was afraid. Speak. Seeing that Lil 8 was not speaking, Lu Linglong grew furious and shouted, Master, are you certain that you wish to know? Looking at Lu Linglong, 80 asked for confirmation. Yes, I'm sure. Hurry up and tell me. Lu Linglong confirmed. His heart tightened as he focused his gaze and became serious. Alas! Looking at Lu Linglong's current state, Lil 8 let out a long sigh and immediately spoke about what happened in the Lu family. The Lu clan has been wiped out. Apart from you, everyone in the Lu clan, including the livestock, was killed. Everyone in the Lu clan was killed. Boom! The message was like a bolt from the blue that struck Lu Linglong's ears. In an instant, Lu Linglong's mind went blank. His entire body stood there in a daze. His body could not stop trembling. Tears flowed uncontrollably from her eyes, and her expression was full of disbelief. The Lu family was wiped out? How is this possible? No, that's not right. You must be lying to me. Lil 8, tell me, are you lying to me? How could the Lu family be wiped out? Who in the entire Guanyin Empire would dare to do anything? Furthermore, the Lu family has a martial ancestor in the peak martial ancestor realm. Who would dare to do anything? That's right. You must be lying to me. The Lu family cannot be wiped out. The Lu family is so powerful. When I returned 2 days ago, the Lu family was fine. How is this possible? After recovering from the shock, Lu Linglong began to talk to herself like a madman. Her eyes were filled with tears, and she was covered in tears. If Li Huangdao was here to see Lu Linglong's current state, he would definitely be heartbroken. Master, seeing Lu Linglong's current state, Lil 8 could not help but call out. He knew that telling Lu Linglong about the Lu family's destruction would cause such a situation. However, he had to say it. After all, Lu Linglong was the only survivor of the Lu family. Impossible. How is this possible? Lu Linglong continued to talk to herself as if she did not hear Lil 8's call. Her appearance was very frightening. The originally noble and elegant Lu Linglong had disappeared. A murderous intent flashed from Lu Linglong's body. As time passed, the murderous intent became more and more intense. In the end, even Lil 8, who was famous for his assassination skills, felt a chill run down his spine. Master, don't be like this. There is no other way. Your younger brother has offended someone he should not have offended and cannot afford to offend. Even the Lu family's martial ancestor could not defeat him and ensure the safety of the Lu family. According to the rumors, the person who attacked the Lu family was a martial honorable. So, martial honorable? Why? Li Huangdao, why didn't you do anything? The opponent was only a martial honorable. With your cultivation, you could have easily killed him. Why didn't you do anything to help the Lu family? Why did you do that? After coming back to her senses and hearing Lil 8's words, Lu Linglong was stunned. A martial honorable was able to stop Li Huangdao from doing anything. She did not understand why Li Huangdao would do that. She did not understand. She could not understand why Li Huangdao would treat her like this. He kept saying that he loved her. What about now? Her heart turned cold. Ever since she heard Li Huangdao's words, her heart turned cold. At this moment, she had recovered from her madness. Her temperament had undergone a tremendous change in a short period of time. Her original gentleness and gentleness had disappeared. Lil 8, go contact the death flag. Even if I have to use up all my family's assets, I want the people who destroyed the Lu family to die. All of them must die. Her words caused Lil 8 to tremble in fear. But Lil 8 wanted to refute. After all, the opponent was a martial honorable. Usually, no one would accept such a price. Even the death flag was the same. Even if the death flag had a martial honorable, who would do it for money? Use all our resources, no matter the cost. We must kill that person. Murderous intent surged. Feeling the murderous intent, Lil 8 understood that Lu Linglong had made up her mind. No matter how he refuted, it would be useless. After a long moment of silence, he looked at Lu Linglong's determined expression. In the end, he nodded helplessly. All right, since Master has decided, I will go now. However, there are too many things to do in the palace. You should not expose yourself during this period of time. After all, the Emperor did not help the Lu family. This matter is too complicated. For the sake of the last bloodline of the Lu family, you must protect yourself during this period of time when I am not around. Do not get hurt. To outsiders, these words sounded somewhat ambiguous. However, Lu Linglong was already used to it. I understand. Chapter 11:14. Li Huangdao had no idea what Lu Linglong was doing. If he had known that she was going to make a move on Lin Rui, he would not have hesitated to kill Lil 8. Women in power. In front of a king, it was obvious which was more important. It was a pity that a man did not have a woman, but he could not be without power. It was especially so for a king like Li Huangdao. He would not allow anything to go wrong with Lin Rui. He could not afford to pay the price. The price was too great, so great that it made him breathless. In the meeting hall, there were still a few people who had left with Lu Linglong. However, the atmosphere in the hall was even more depressing and oppressive. A man knelt on the ground and looked at the emperor, who was sitting on the throne. His body seemed to be frozen, and he did not move at all except for his rolling eyes. Emperor, please think twice about this. If the Long clan were to become powerful, it would not be good for the empire. The head of the Long clan, Long Yaoyang, is a very kind person. If the Long clan had the ability, I'm afraid the position of the emperor would have changed. An old man spoke. Although his voice was soft, it was like a ticking time bomb, shocking everyone present. Everyone's eyes were focused on the old man, including Li Huangdao. His expression changed as he looked at the old man. Li Taiyuan, a relative of the royal family, was also the prime minister of the empire. It could be said that he was second only to the emperor. In the empire, only Li Taiyuan had the right to speak. In terms of seniority, Li Taiyuan was Li Huangdao's uncle. The atmosphere in the hall became even more oppressive. The man kneeling on the ground was even more speechless. He had been kneeling since the beginning, and even as a warrior, he could not do anything. Looking at Li Taiyuan, Li Huangdao could only express his annoyance. Did he not understand the ambition of the Long clan? No, he understood. It was just that Lin Rui's strength made him feel helpless, so he did not dare to make a move. The only thing he could do now was to wait and see. The situation in the capital was changing rapidly, and with Lin Rui as a variable, he did not dare to be careless. He could not afford to take the risk. Prime Minister, the emperor understands what you're saying, but he really wanted to tell them about Lin Rui and tell them about his helplessness as the emperor, but after thinking about it, he didn't say anything. Forget it. Let's talk about this later. As for the Long family, Emperor Li continued. Let's observe the Long family first. Emperor, all right, let's not talk about it anymore. Let's leave this matter at that. Remember, during this period of time, tell your juniors to behave. You should understand the current situation in the capital. If something happens, don't come crying to me. Li Taiyuan wanted to say something, but before he could say anything, Li Huangdao quickly interrupted him. Sighs could be heard continuously in the hall. Emperor Li was also helpless about this. He also wanted to solve the problem in front of him, but he didn't have the strength to do so. All right, since the matter has been resolved, let's leave. Remember, this matter is only known to the few of you. Otherwise, a wisp of killing intent surged out and instantly enveloped the surroundings. Plop. Strange sounds could be heard. The people who were originally standing all knelt on the ground, including Li Taiyuan. Their faces were grave and red. Li Huangdao's cultivation level was higher than theirs. It was very difficult for them to not lose their composure in front of such killing intent. We understand. Please rest assured, Emperor. After all, we will guard today's matter to the death. We will not let anyone know what happened today, the crowd said in unison. All right, go. Li Taiyuan and the others felt their bodies relax. The cold, killing intent disappeared. The scene of a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood around them disappeared. They stood up and bowed to Li Huangdao. They didn't stop at all. At the entrance of the hall, the crowd came out together. They looked at each other, their expressions helpless. They felt helpless about Li Huangdao's decision. They didn't understand why Li Huangdao would be so patient when the other party was just a martial venerable. Didn't he like the Lu family's only daughter, Lu Linglong? Why was he so indifferent when such a thing happened to the Lu family? Fine, the matter between the Lu family and the Long family isn't something that we can handle. From now on, don't pay attention to it, Li Huangdao said to the people around him. But a middle-aged man refused to accept it. As someone who was born in the military, he couldn't bear to see people like this riding on the Empire's neck. All right, stop talking. I'm old and don't have many days left. This empire is the world of the young. Li Taiyuan sighed and shook his head as he looked at the crowd. He walked out of the imperial palace as he spoke. The remaining people looked at Li Taiyuan's back as he left. At that moment, he looked so lonely. The crowd shook their heads helplessly and didn't say anything else. They nodded at each other and left separately. They went back to their families and mothers. Inside the hall, Li Huangdao could imagine the scene outside, even without using his perception, especially Li Taiyuan's disappointment. Looking at the entrance of the hall, Li Taiyuan shook his head helplessly. Prime Minister, I hope you don't blame the Emperor. The Emperor also feels that this way of living is very difficult, but the enemies ahead are too strong. Even the old ancestor isn't a match for them, let alone me. In the Gray Cloud Mountain Range, at the bottom of the valley where Lin Rei was staying, Lu Changtian had finished packing up. His aura had recovered to its peak and even had a slight breakthrough. Master, I don't know if I'll survive this time. Don't you plan to give me a few life-saving treasures, battle techniques, or footwork? Looking at Lin Rei, Lu Changtian couldn't help but laugh. Uffed, Huiyin saw Lu Changtian at this moment and couldn't help but burst out laughing. They had spent some time together before, but she didn't remember Lu Changtian having such a year. Not only Huiyin, but Long Ming and Hong Si were also the same. Looking at Lu Changtian's lively behavior, the rascal was speechless. Don't worry, you won't die. Looking at Lu Changtian, Lin Rei said, with that bast *RD around, you'll be fine. SSSS. A snake-like hissing sound came from the mouth of the blood spirit sky in Lu Changtian's hand. Bast *RD, you bast *road. What kind of old thing are you? Don't you know how to talk? I'm still a cub, okay? The blood spirit sky glared at Lin Rei, and the voice sounded in Lin Rei's mind. Ha, cub? Indeed, you're still a cub. But you've been a cub for too long. How many years do you think you've been a cub for humans? You're already an old gabanoob. So how can you still be a cub? You have the nerve to say that. Even I can hear how red you are. Lin Rei didn't show any mercy to the blood spirit sky. After spending a long time together, Lin Rei summed up the blood spirit sky's character in one word. Cheap. That's right, cheap. I feel uncomfortable if I don't scold this kind of demon. She's just like a masochist who needs to be taught a lesson. Chapter 11:15. Boom! In the deepest part of the King of Hell's ancient land, a loud explosion resounded. Following that, the earth trembled and the mountains shook. Rocks crumbled and the ground caved in. Dark clouds gathered in the sky and thunderclouds rolled. Everything within a radius of 10,000 li was enveloped by a powerful aura. The moment this phenomenon appeared, all the flowers and trees turned into ashes and disappeared from the world. It was as if they were never there. Rumble. In the deepest part of the King of Hell's ancient land, a crack appeared on the ground. Astral winds gushed out from the crack and swept through the space of the King of Hell's ancient land. Roar! A beastly roar suddenly resounded, shaking the heavens. The moment all the beasts in the ancient land heard this roar, they fled. Those who didn't manage to escape in time could only prostrate themselves on the ground and worship. It was as if they had met an emperor. Their faces were filled with fear. Roar! Roar! The wind and clouds surged, and strange phenomena appeared. Heaven and earth changed. This was an unchanging law. Kacha! The thunder clouds rolled, and purple lightning mixed with red lightning rumbled in the clouds for a long time. Finally, when the clouds couldn't hold it any longer, the lightning struck down, aiming at the crack in the depths of the King of Hell's ancient land. Zizi roar! The moment the lightning broke free from the thunderclouds, it turned into a 10,000-meter long lightning dragon. It looked ferocious, and the pressure from its body instantly suppressed everything within a radius of 10,000 li. Damned heavens. Do you think you can make me compromise just like this? Dream on. A heaven-shaking roar rang out from the depths of the crevice. accompanied by a wanton and unrestrained voice. Haha, come. Let me see how terrifying your lightning tribulation is. Let's see if your lightning tribulation is stronger or my defense is stronger. His voice rang out once more. Such arrogant, conceited words. If Linley were to hear them again, he probably wouldn't be able to keep up the pretense, even if he rolled his eyes and died. Swoosh! Suddenly, the lightning dragon dived down. From the crack, a black shadow rushed out and rushed towards the lightning dragon. Its speed was so fast that it left people speechless. Quiet as a virgin, quick as a rabbit, nonsense like a fleeting glimpse, trash under the speed of the black shadow. All these adjectives had to kneel down. Come, let me catch you. His arrogant voice did not diminish. It was unknown if he really had the ability to do so, or if he was just saying it. Slowly, the black shadow's speed became faster and faster. When the 3,000-meter-long black shadow appeared, its body was completely exposed. It had 2 horns on its head, a snake-like body for legs, and a fishtail. Its shape was similar to that of a dragon, but the difference was that it did not have any scales on its body. Instead, a faint light could be seen moving around its body. In terms of looking and not changing, he couldn't be compared to the Dragon Clan at all, because he was too ugly. Boom! The Thunder Dragon seemed to understand the words of the demonic beast. The Thunder Dragon, which was originally only a few dozen meters thick, instantly grew to 100 meters in length. It was simply shocking to the heavens and earth, making ghosts and gods weep. In the main hall of the Yellow Region Thousand Treasures Sect, a middle-aged man was sitting cross-legged. His appearance was very beautiful. Although he wasn't extremely talented, he had sharp eyebrows, bright eyes, and an imposing appearance. He looked like a handsome uncle that could charm thousands of young girls. This is the pressure of heaven and earth. Suddenly, the man opened his eyes, and a strange light flashed from his body. He looked in the direction where the pressure of heaven and earth came from and frowned. His figure instantly disappeared from where he was and disappeared from a hall. Outside the main hall, the man had appeared out of nowhere. He stood outside the main hall and looked in the direction of the pressure. What's going on? Why is the pressure of heaven and earth so dense? What exactly is going on? Why would it attract such a terrifying pressure of heaven and earth? I'm afraid that even Heavenly Saint Huanyuan's heavenly tribulation isn't half as strong as this pressure. Feeling the pressure getting denser and denser, the man's eyes were filled with worry. The same scene occurred in the Xian region, Earth region, Heaven region, Wasteland region, Flood region, Aeon region, Universe region, and the 9 heavens. All the experts from the various sects and empires felt the terrifying pressure of heaven and earth. There was no lack of Heavenly Saint Huanyuan, Earth Saint Huanyuan, and even the supreme existences, Tao integration sages, felt the terrifying pressure of heaven and earth. In the depths of the Netherworld King's ancient land, the Black Shadow didn't know why it was here, but it caused all the sects in the holy world to feel the strangeness. Pong! Finally, the two of them collided. The terrifying lightning dragon instantly engulfed the Black Shadow and enveloped it. The Black Shadow appeared in the lightning dragon's abdomen. His Holy Spirit energy erupted, and there wasn't the slightest trace of worry in his eyes. It was as if the current situation couldn't bring him any trouble. If that's all you have, I can only say that I'm very disappointed. Looking at the surrounding lightning and thunder, a trace of disappointment flashed through the Black Shadow's eyes. Transcendence world explode. Suddenly, the Black Shadow roared. A golden light appeared behind him, and a fake Black Shadow appeared. The difference was that the fake Black Shadow's body was golden, and it grew bigger and bigger. Slowly, it looked like it was going to surpass the lightning tribulation. Even so, I can't waste the lightning tribulation. Although my body is already broken through to the saint realm, it's better than nothing. Even an ant is meat. Transcendence world devour. Under the Black Shadow's control, the Transcendence world opened its bloody mouth. A terrifying suction force appeared, and the lightning tribulation in the surroundings seemed to have lost control and rushed towards the mouth of the Transcendence world. If Heavenly Saint Hunyuan of the Holy World saw this scene, he would definitely be shocked. The Transcendence world was the symbol of a saint. Although the Transcendence world was powerful, it was impossible for them to devour the lightning tribulation. Who would complain that they had lived for too long? Awoo! A miserable cry came from the lightning dragon's mouth. The sound was so miserable that it made people shudder. The lightning dragon seemed to have encountered something terrifying. It didn't care whether the black shadow in its body was its partner or not. At this moment, the lightning dragon only wanted to get this scourge out of its body and escape. Unfortunately, the lightning dragon couldn't do it. The black shadow seemed to have sensed the lightning dragon's thoughts. A look of disdain appeared on its face, and its devouring speed increased. Time passed slowly. In a moment, the lightning dragon was devoured by the Transcendence world of the black shadow. Rumble! In the sky, the lightning clouds felt the black shadow's provocation. The second lightning tribulation in the clouds was getting impatient, and it wanted to rush out and fight it out. Rumble! A golden lightning cloud suddenly appeared and merged with the original lightning cloud. A three-colored lightning cloud appeared, and the lightning tribulation became even stronger. Purple, red, and gold lightning clouds merged. This had never happened before in the Holy World. A single lightning tribulation was enough to make a saint suffer. There were even saints who died in the lightning tribulation, let alone a three-colored lightning tribulation. Just the thought of the power was enough to make people tremble. In the divine world, in the desolate divine realm, the little dragon looked up to the sky with his hands behind his back. His expression changed. The dusk of the heavens has appeared. Chapter 11:16. Yes, the dusk of all heavens has appeared. The system's electronically synthesized cold voice sounded. After the system finished speaking, the system space was silent for a long time. The little dragon looked up at the sky for a long time before he came back to his senses. His expression was very complicated. There was worry, confusion, and doubt. According to his speculation, the dusk of all heavens would appear at least thousands or even tens of thousands of years later. But what was the situation now? Dusk of the heavens didn't know, because his appearance not only saved the saints, but even the system in the heavenly realm also sensed the terrifying might of heaven and earth. What now? After a long silence, the little dragon looked up at the sky. Lin Ray is still in the other world. Now that the dusk of all heavens has appeared, the holy world will definitely make a big move. I understand what you're thinking. The electronic voice sounded. Of course, the system knew what the little dragon was thinking. From the beginning, the little dragon didn't want Lin Ray to go to the other world. The system paused for a moment before it continued. The dusk of all heavens has appeared in advance and will definitely cause chaos in the holy world. This is a good opportunity for Lin Ray to rise. Moreover, if the item in the deepest part of the ancient land of the netherworld is obtained by others, it will be an indelible danger to the entire holy world. Only Lin Ray can quickly rise and transcend the current eternity boundary if he obtains it. You know that. The little dragon was anxious. Since the system said so, it meant that Lin Ray would return soon. In that case, I understand what you're thinking. Actually, letting Lin Ray go to the other world is unnecessary. I originally wanted to let Lin Ray rest for a while in the other world. Now it seems that there's no need for that. Then, the little dragon tried to probe. Bring Lin Ray's physical body and go there. If possible, you can let Lin Ray directly ascend to the holy world from the other world. Only in this way will Lin Ray be able to rise up quickly. When he reaches the holy world, he won't be injured or even killed in the battle at the ancient land of the netherworld. The system's voice was the same as before. It was cold and emotionless. At this moment, the little dragon was overjoyed. He missed Lin Ray very much after not seeing him for a long time. After all, strictly speaking, he had raised Lin Ray like a son and disciple. Understood. When are you leaving? Looking at the little dragon's heart, the system shook its head helplessly. It did not expect the relationship between the little dragon and Lin Ray to be so deep. Now, as soon as the system said this, the little dragon's figure entered Lin Ray's body. In the next moment, Lin Ray woke up from his tightly shut eyes. He stood up and rested his head on his spear. With the power of the heavens and the earth as support, the teleportation array is formed. The system's electronically synthesized voice sounded. A huge teleportation array appeared in the depths of the divine domain. Looking at the scale, Rual Lin Ray would definitely be shocked and envious when he saw this teleportation array again. Moreover, Lin Ray would definitely realize that the level of this array was much stronger than the arrays that he, a Saint Stage Array Master, was unaware of. The little dragon understood tacitly and went to the center of the teleportation array to wait for his own teleportation. Get ready. Because your compatibility with Lin Ray's body is not high, the teleportation array will have some effect on you. Cut the crap and dilly-dally like a sissy. Hurry up, the little dragon said impatiently. The system ignored the little dragon's urgency. The teleportation array emitted a shocking light that instantly buried the little dragon. Boom! The rumbling sound came quickly and disappeared even faster. In the blink of an eye, the light appeared. When they looked again, the light had disappeared without a trace. It was as if it had never appeared. The entire divine domain returned to the same scene. The array that the system set up previously also disappeared along with the little dragon. Destiny Realm, the deepest part of the Ash Cloud mountain range. At this moment, Lin Ray didn't know that what happened in the Holy World had affected his pace of entering the Holy World. Even the system was a little anxious. Originally, he still had 100 years to spend in the other world, but now, Xiaolong had brought his physical body to the realm of destiny through the teleportation formation, and his originally peaceful life had disappeared along with it. A day had passed since Lin Ray gave the mission to Lu Changtian and the Blood Spirit Sky. The two left the Ash Cloud mountain range on the same day and headed to the capital of the Guanyin Empire. As for Lin Ray himself, he was in a cave. Because of the existence of the little golden coffin, his cultivation realm improved by leaps and bounds. Of course, this destiny realm improved by leaps and bounds. It wasn't a real cultivation world. To be honest, this little bit of spiritual chi was far from being as endless as the spiritual chi in the cultivation world. Boom! A muffled sound came from Lin Ray's body, accompanied by a heart-palpitating pressure. With Lin Ray as the center, it swept out in all directions. Boom, bang! In the cave beside Lin Ray's cultivation cave, Huiyun felt that her cultivation was low from the previous incident. So, during this period of time, she cultivated day and night in order to increase her strength so that she wouldn't be a burden to her son. Originally, she wanted to talk to Lin Ray today. After all, they hadn't seen each other for a long time. As a mother, how could she not miss her son? However, she needed Lin Ray to cultivate, so she couldn't do as she wished. In the end, she could only return to the cave and cultivate. But who would have thought that Huiyun, who had just started cultivating, would suddenly feel a terrifying pressure? She didn't even have the chance to react and was instantly suppressed to the ground. Fortunately, Huiyun's cultivation technique was indirect. Because the surrounding spiritual chi was flowing too fast, she didn't have the time to cultivate her cultivation technique. Fortunately, this was the case. Otherwise, if she was suddenly in the middle of cultivating her cultivation technique, even if she didn't go berserk, she would still be seriously injured. Lying on the ground, feeling the cold sensation from the ground, she was speechless. This damn child. If he wants to cultivate, then cultivate. Why did he have to make such a big commotion? Is he trying to kill his mother? Well, you didn't need to think to know who this pressure came from. In the entire Ashen Cloud Valley, only her precious son, Lin Ray, could do this. Although she was complaining in her heart, she was still in a good mood because of her son's high cultivation. At least he could survive in this man-eat-man world. As for Huiyun's current state, Lin Ray didn't know. If he knew, he would forcefully stop cultivating even if he didn't break through. Huff, huff. Lin Ray, who was cultivating, had a very regular aura. His breathing was even more regular and natural, as if he had merged with heaven and earth. I've finally broken through. Although I've just entered the Golden Core realm, at least I've recovered to the Golden Core realm. I can also use some of the commonly used techniques. As he muttered in his heart, his originally closed eyes slowly opened. His hands quickly formed a seal. His movements were fast and mysterious. Walala! Suddenly, the sound of flowing water could be heard from the cave. As time passed, the sound of flowing water became louder. Imperial water technique, water dragon breaks the sky. A water dragon as thick as an arm rushed out from the seal formed by Lin Ray's palm. Chapter 11:17. After using a minor technique, Linley calmed down and once again entered a state of cultivation. The cave once again returned to silence and darkness. As for Huiyun, she naturally didn't lie on the ground anymore. She got up and walked out of the cave. She didn't dare to stay any longer. She didn't want to rush out after what happened just now. It was too embarrassing. Moreover, the ground was really cold. At this moment, her face was still cold. In front of the Guangyun Empire's imperial palace, Lu Chantian brought the bloodling Tian here as he wished. Standing in front of the gate of the imperial palace, Lu Chantian calmed himself down as he looked at the enormous structure. Then he walked inside. Clang! Clang! Suddenly, there was the sound of weapons clashing. The guards in front of the maze saw Lu Changtian's action and had a gloomy expression. They drew their weapons and crossed their arms to block Lu Changtian's path. Who is it? A man who looked like the guard commander walked out. Although it wasn't clear what his official rank was, this man's armor was different from the other guards. It looked very high class. The sudden obstruction made Lu Changtian frown slightly. He sneered in his heart. To be honest, he didn't want to kill. This time, he was here to kill one as an example to others. He disdained these small fries and didn't want to kill them. Get out of the way. You're not a match for this sovereign. If you continue to obstruct me, you will only be throwing your lives away. Brother Imperial Palace, if you don't have the Imperial Lord's command token, you are not allowed to move around. Please reconsider. Don't be impulsive and throw your life away. The guard commander didn't seem to hear Lu Chantian's warning and try to stop him. Sigh. Ignorant. The guard commander's attitude was very clear. For this reason, Lu Chantian didn't want to explain. He had already reminded them, and it was he who didn't want to leave. As such, Lu Chantian didn't have any burden in his heart. Swish! There was a piercing sound, and a 3-foot-long cold sword appeared in Lu Changtian's hand. The long sword emitted a faint cold light. A cold light flashed at the tip of the sword. Since that's the case, don't blame me for being merciless. As he spoke, he didn't give the guards any time to react. He took a step forward and used the flowing water sword art. The sword rose, and the scene of blossoms and blood appeared in front of the imperial palace. What was a single slash to the throat? What was 7 kills? What was an instant kill? Wasn't Lu Changtian doing the right thing? The sword struck out at an incomparably fast speed. It streaked across the 7 people like a bolt of lightning. Poochie, the sound of flesh being cut rang out. At this moment, Lu Changtian stepped past the guards and arrived in front of the gate. Behind him, the 7 guards seemed to have been immobilized and were frozen in place, not moving at all. If someone were to observe closely, they would be able to see that there was a faint mark on the guard's throat. Let's hope that I won't be so foolish in my next life. Without turning back, Zhang Xian sighed and walked into the palace. In the depths of the imperial palace, in the cultivation room of the empire's old ancestor, the old man who was cultivating suddenly opened his eyes. A blood-red light flashed in his eyes, and his killing intense sword. Ignorant brat. A mere marshal venerable dares to behave atrociously in my Guangyun imperial palace. Do you really think that this old man is dead? Lu Changtian didn't know that the old man had sensed him when he killed the 7 guards. Of course, if Lu Changtian didn't know, he wouldn't be afraid. Instead, he would sneer. What should this be called? Meeting enemies on a narrow path? Enemies on a narrow road? Or is it that enemies meet on a narrow path? Sensing the shocking killing intent emitted from Lu Changtian's body, the old man's face turned gloomy. He remembered that it had been many years since anyone dared to provoke the Empire. What was even more shocking was that a mere martial venerable dared to challenge them. Didn't he know that the martial god was in the Guangyun Imperial Palace? Of course, the old man didn't think too much about this. At this moment, he only knew that the Empire's reputation was being challenged, and as the Empire's guardian, he couldn't just stand by and watch. He got up and waved his hand, and the door of the cultivation room opened. His figure instantly disappeared from the cultivation room and rushed in the direction of Lu Changtian. Not only the old man, but Li Huangdao also sensed it. He was even more furious than the old man. Previously, he couldn't defeat Lin Rei, so he could only endure it. But now, one after another, what are they doing? Are they trying to ascend to the heavens? He got up and rushed towards Lu Changtian like the old man. The two of them seemed to have agreed beforehand. Lu Changtian didn't know that after entering the Imperial Palace, he didn't release his perception. It wasn't that he didn't want to, but that there was no need to. He was here to kill, so there was no need to be so cautious. Anyone who tried to stop him would be killed. Hiss, hiss. Walking on the main road of the Imperial Palace, he heard the hissing of a snake. You're awake. Lowering his head to look at the blood spirit sky in his arms, Lu Changtian revealed a smile and relaxed the tension in his heart. Even though he was confident in fighting against the martial god, he really didn't have any moves against the martial god. He didn't even know if he could exchange half a move with the martial god. Hiss, hearing Lu Changtian's words, the blood spirit sky rolled his eyes as though saying, "Nonsense, isn't it obvious?" Of course, Lu Changtian couldn't understand the blood spirit sky's words, while Lu Changtian only heard the hissing of a snake. Looking at the blood spirit sky, Lu Changtian was speechless. He didn't say anything since he couldn't understand it. You little bastard. Just you wait. After some time, I will be able to speak the human language. When that time comes, I will torture you to death." Looking at Lu Changtian, the blood spirit sky said angrily, "Linli, you scoundrel. You're obviously very powerful yourself, but you just had to make me do it. What? Do I have to be your little sidekick?" Thinking back to Linli's previous orders and threats, he felt extremely unhappy. But the blood spirit sky could only grumble now. If he were to face Lin Rei, he wouldn't even dare to let out a fart. Someone's coming. Just as the blood spirit sky was venting his dissatisfaction, suddenly, a powerful aura rushed toward him. Hiss, hiss. Sensing the approaching energy, the blood spirit sky hissed and pointed his tail in the direction of the approaching person. You mean someone's coming? Looking at the blood spirit sky's actions, Lu Changtian understood even if he was a fool. Yes, he's coming. Looking at Lu Changtian, the blood spirit sky showed a trace of sympathy. Facing a warrior who was one stage higher than him, he was somewhat worried if Lu Changtian could defeat and kill him. There were people who could fight above their level, but it was very rare. After all, not everyone wanted to be like Lin Rei. Lu Changtian understood the blood spirit sky's intentions and didn't move. Instead, he stood on the spot, looked in the direction the blood spirit sky pointed, and waited quietly. A few minutes later, two figures appeared in Lu Changtian's line of sight, one after another. The instant they saw Lu Changtian, they came to a stop and sized up Lu Changtian. Why are you in my palace? Emperor doesn't remember doing anything wrong to you, right? Li Huangdao spoke. He was puzzled as Lu Changtian wasn't affected at all. He didn't understand why Lu Changtian was here. Chapter 11:18. Looking at the two of them, Lu Changtian's eyes were cold and emotionless. Killing them was no big deal. It was better than killing all of the Lin family's enemies. After all, that was the matter of the previous generation. Looking at Li Huangdao, Lu Changtian said, "This matter is very simple. Kill the chicken to warn the monkey. Use the Guangyun Empire's imperial clan to intimidate all the clans in the Destiny realm. As for the reason, don't tell me you don't know about the Lin family. Although you're part of the Fengyun sect on the surface, do you think you can get rid of your traces? You? Hearing Lu Changtian's words, Li Huangdao was startled. He looked up at Lu Changtian. He understood the reason for this matter. After all this time, it turned out that the Lin family had come to take revenge. However, when did the Lin family have a martial saint cultivator? Wasn't the best cultivator in the Lin family only a general during the investigation? And an old guy at that? Li Huangdao looked at Lu Changtian in confusion, a trace of disdain in his eyes. In his opinion, a martial saint cultivator dared to barge into the Guangyun Empire alone. In the eyes of outsiders, this was undoubtedly courting death. Even in Li Huangdao's eyes, this was an act of suicide. Do you think you could defeat me? Li Huangdao looked at Lu Changtian and asked. His words were filled with dominance and an inviolable tone. You? Looking at Li Huangdao, Lu Changtian only wanted to say, even if I can't defeat you, I have to fight. Otherwise, I'll be the unlucky one in the end. If he had to face Lin Rei's torture or fight Li Huangdao, Lu Changtian would choose to fight Li Huangdao without even thinking about it. In his opinion, fighting Li Huangdao was not scary. Lin Rei's torture was the most terrifying. He did not want to face it, nor did he want to endure it. He could only fight. I think you should be the monarch, Lord. However, I agree with what you said before. But at the same time, I also want to say this. Although in your heart, I might be very weak and am not a match for you, but I must act because I have no other choice. Moreover, are you so sure that I'm not your match? Could it be that, in your opinion, there is no such thing as killing someone above your level in this world? Or is it that you've never left the Guangyun Empire since you were born, so you formed a frog at the bottom of a well? Lu Changtian was not afraid of angering Emperor Li. This was exactly what Lu Changtian wanted to see. You, very good. I hope that your mouth will be tougher than it is now. Otherwise, I'm afraid that you won't be able to take it. After saying that, Emperor Li disappeared from where he was. Oh, very good. That's how it is. Let me see what the strength of a martial saint is like. He understood Lin Rei's thoughts. Since Lin Rei wanted him to fight against a martial saint, it was enough to show that even if he faced a martial saint, he wouldn't be in any danger. So what if he got injured? As long as he didn't die, it would be fine. Li Huangdao made his move while the old man remained where he was with a solemn expression on his face. The instant Li Huangdao made his move, a heaven-shaking pressure appeared from Lu Changtian's body and disappeared in an instant. Even though it was only for an instant, the old man could still feel the heaven-shaking pressure. He was sure that Lu Changtian must have something that could threaten him. Moreover, this thing's cultivation was far above his. A sense of crisis welled up in his heart. I hope my premonition is wrong. Otherwise, the old man still had hope in his heart. After all, until now, he had only seen Lin Rei, who was stronger than the martial god. Bang! The sound of weapons colliding rang out. The two figures collided in an instant. The weapons in their hands collided. Both sides seemed to be evenly matched. However, Lu Changtian was shocked by Emperor Li's strength. Although it was only a collision, Lu Changtian could feel a huge force from his opponent's weapon. It spread through the sword and into his arm, then into his body. Cough, cough. Lu Changtian's internal organs were in pain because of the collision. He couldn't help but cough. Little guy, didn't your parents tell you that you can't fight recklessly when the difference in cultivation is too big? Even if what you said before was true, there are warriors in this world who can kill people above their cultivation level. However, it's not you because you're too weak. Bang! After saying that, Emperor Li increased his strength and threw Lu Changtian away. Bang! Bang, bang! Lu Changtian was shocked. He felt his body flying away uncontrollably. Along the way, several obstacles were unable to stop Lu Changtian's body. Finally, he regained control of his body after flying 100 meters away. Finally, he landed on the ground with a perfect 360-degree rotation. PFFF, he spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was flushed. His clothes were tattered, and his hair was a little messy. One move, just one move had made him suffer such a huge loss. This made Lu Chantian very depressed. He had only wanted to test the waters. He didn't expect his opponent to be so rough and overbearing. He attacked with all his strength right from the start. Looking up at Emperor Li, Lu Chantian was stunned. He spat out a mouthful of blood. The originally weak aura instantly disappeared and was replaced by an overbearing and simple aura. Emperor Li, although I don't want to say it, but you're too confident and arrogant. Furthermore, you might be wrong about one thing. I, Lu Chantian, am an existence that you will never be able to surpass. After saying that, he got up and tore apart his tattered clothes. He reached out, and the sword in the distance flew back to Lu Changtian's hand automatically, as if it was summoned. With the sword in hand, the aura of "I have the world" burst out of Lu Changtian's body the moment he grasped the sword. A terrifying sword intent crazily surged. At this moment, Lu Changtian was serious. This was the first time in his life that he was so serious. He didn't want to die. He could only kill the obstacles in front of him. How is this possible? Li Huangdao was shocked. Looking at Lu Changtian's figure and feeling the shocking sword intent that soared into the sky, he was dumbfounded. Was this still the ant that he defeated with one move? Was this still the ant that he looked down on? How did he suddenly become so sharp and powerful? It made him feel an indescribable fear. Although Li Huangdao didn't want to admit it, this shock was too sudden. It made him feel that it was unreal. Seeing Li Huangdao's shocked expression, a disdainful smile appeared on Lu Changtian's face. Nothing is impossible. Originally, I wanted to play with you for a while. But now, since you're serious, I have no choice but to be serious too. After saying that, he looked at the old man in the distance. As for you, don't stay idle. Since you're here, stay. After saying that, he took out the blood spirit sky from his bosom. Big brother, let's end this quickly. Chapter 1119. He raised his head and looked at Lu Changtian. The reluctance in his eyes dissipated. He was unhappy with Lu Changtian's actions. However, when he thought of Lin Li, the unhappiness he felt just now instantly disappeared. He turned his head and looked at the old man in the distance. A trace of disdain flashed across his eyes. Blood Spirit Sky didn't seem to care about the old man's strength at all. Oh, whoa! Suddenly, a beast roar came from Blood Spirit Sky's mouth. The sound was so loud that everyone couldn't help but cover their ears. Asterisk swoosh, asterisk, a fiery red figure flashed past quickly. In the next moment, a gigantic creature that was dozens of feet long appeared in everyone's sight. F***CK, seeing Blood Spirit Sky suddenly grow bigger, Lu Changtian couldn't help but curse. His face was filled with shock. As for Li Huangdao and Lu Changtian, it was needless to say. If Lu Changtian was like this, one could imagine how uncontrollable their expressions were. How this thing's cultivation. The moment Blood Spirit Sky appeared, the old man was dumbfounded. The aura he felt from Blood Spirit Sky's body was like an abyss, causing his parents to break out in cold sweat. His heart was bulging, making him feel like he couldn't control himself. Can I beat it? Looking at Blood Spirit Sky, the old man asked himself. He really had the urge to ignore it and turn around to run away. Oh, whoa. However, Blood Spirit Sky didn't care about the old man's thoughts. In his opinion, the old man was already a dead man. With a furious roar, he appeared in front of the old man in an instant. He opened his bloody mouth and swallowed the old man. His movements were smooth and without any hesitation. He didn't slow down because of Blood Spirit Sky's huge body. Blood Spirit Sky's speed was too fast. It was so fast that the old man only reacted when he sensed the smell of blood. Looking at the bloody mouth rushing towards him, the old man's figure paused for a moment. Then, he regained his senses and quickly retreated. At this moment, the old man panicked. What face? What dignity? In the face of death, all of these were nonsense. The old man used his fastest speed. He didn't think about anything else. He just wanted to escape from this dangerous place that he would never forget for the rest of his life. Do you think you can escape? Seeing the old man's actions, Shui Lingtian's face was filled with disdain. To be honest, he couldn't even be bothered to attack the old man. If it wasn't for Lin Rei, he wouldn't even look at him. Old ancestor. In the distance, in the blood spirit sky, everything had happened so quickly that it was too late for Li Huangdao to react. Looking at the old ancestor fleeing in panic, Li Huangdao only felt that today was his doomsday. Qin thought that the one who came was a bronze, but he didn't expect that the one who showed up in the end was a king. Bastard. When did the Lin family have such a powerful cultivator? Why didn't the spies receive any information? Emperor Li was still complaining about the spies. You're distracted. Your opponent is me. While Li Huangdao was still in a daze, Lu Changtian's figure flashed and appeared in front of him. The long sword in his hand quickly rushed out, aiming for Li Huangdao's heart. As he attacked, he did not forget to say, "Don't forget, the biggest taboo in a martial artist battle is to be distracted. Otherwise, you will die." The long sword arrived in an instant. Because Li Huangdao was stunned for a moment, it was too late for him to react and resist. Puchi. The sound of flesh being pierced was heard. Blood flowed like a red flower on Li Huangdao's chest. Ah! Li Huangdao screamed as he felt the pain in his chest. His face instantly turned pale. No matter who the heart was, even if it was an old man who had entered the martial god realm, if the long sword pierced his heart, he would also die. Pulling out the long sword, Lu Changtian did not give Li Huangdao any time to think and stabbed him again. However, because Li Huangdao had already regained his senses, and because of the pain in his chest, he felt the long sword coming again. Li Huangdao dodged as fast as he could. Slash! No matter how fast Li Huangdao was escaping, Lu Changtian's speed was not to be underestimated. However, this time, the long sword did not pierce other places. It only cut Li Huangdao's left arm. It looked like it was only a superficial wound and did not affect him at all. Well, you're talking pretty fast. However, be prepared. Today, your Li family will disappear from the Destiny realm. However, you should rejoice because you'll die a worthy death. Saying that, a melancholic bombardment began. Li Huangdao, who was heavily injured, became slower and slower, and more wounds appeared on his body. On the other side, the old man was battered and exhausted. At this moment, he no longer had his usual calmness and arrogance. Bam! With a muffled sound, the old man fell from the sky. His face was covered in blood, and his clothes were tattered. His aura was extremely weak. I beg, Senior. It was not easy for me to cultivate. Please, don't say that to me. I was just following someone else's orders. Since they want you to die, you can only die. As for begging for mercy, it's none of my business. Without waiting for the old man to finish, Shui Lingtian rejected him directly. His tone was filled with displeasure. If Lin Li had been present, he definitely would have been able to tell that although on the surface he was refusing the old man's offer, in truth, he was unhappy with the mission Lin Li had given him. I say no more. Be prepared to die. With that, before the old man could speak again, Shui Lingtian opened his bloody mouth and swallowed the old man in one gulp. Old ancestor. Li Huangdao, who had been paying attention to his old ancestor, saw the old ancestor being swallowed by Shui Jiao. His face fell and his heart sank. A death aura that he had never experienced before emerged in his heart. It's over. Is my Guang Yin Empire going to end today? Looking at Shui Jiao and Lu Changtian, his eyes were filled with hatred and murderous intent. Roar! Seeing Lu Changtian stop, Shui Lingtian roared at him with a threatening look in his eyes. It was as if he was saying, "You'd better hurry up, otherwise this daddy will swallow you." Looking at Shui Lingtian's naked expression, he couldn't help but shudder. Then, he quickly looked away from Shui Lingtian and turned to Li Huangdao. Die! At this moment, Lu Changtian didn't stop. The bombardment was faster and fiercer than before. PFFF, PFFF, sword after sword landed on Li Huangdao's body. Every sword hit his flesh and didn't miss a single spot. Flowing cloud sword art, surging wind, and clouds. Using the flowing cloud sword art, Li Huangdao held his sword horizontally in front of his chest. Suddenly, several sword shadows appeared. Looking at Lu Changtian's sword art, Li Huangdao felt that his previous understanding was broken. Heaven wants me dead. Heaven wants me dead. Looking up to the sky and sighing, Li Huangdao knew that he would definitely die today. Chapter 1120. It was as if he had completely lost the will to fight after witnessing what had happened. Seeing the dozen or so sword images flying towards him, Li Huangdao felt extremely helpless and bitter. Tendo, who will the heavens spare? Ha ha ha. Li Huangdao raised his head and laughed, but his laughter was filled with helplessness. Closing his eyes and waiting for death to come was the only thing Li Huangdao could do right now. In the face of Lu Changtian's bombardment and Shuel Lingtian's covetous gaze, he really didn't know what chips he could use to get himself out of this predicament. AI. Seeing Li Huangdao waiting for death, Lu Changtian let out a long sigh. Although Li Huangdao deserved to die, it had to be said that he was quite good at governing. Moreover, Lu Changtian had come to understand Li Huangdao a bit more. Now that such a person was about to die at his hands, Lu Changtian felt that it was a pity. However, this pity did not make Lu Changtian feel any pity. After all, this person had been killed by his master. The sword images arrived in an instant and were about to pierce through Li Huangdao's body. Let's go. Perhaps because Lu Changtian thought that Li Huangdao was definitely going to die, he did not wait for Li Huangdao to die before turning to speak to Shuel Lingtian and leaving. The dozen or so sword images gave off cold sword lights, as if they wanted to devour everything. In the end, I still can't escape the fate of being killed. Sensing the aura of death ahead, Li Huangdao inwardly sighed and stopped thinking about it. On the side, Lu Changtian heard Lu Changtian's words and snorted coldly. He didn't pay any more attention to him and turned around to leave. In his opinion, Li Huangdao was definitely going to die. Of course, that was if nothing happened. After all, such things did not happen everywhere. As for that martial god-level old man, he had already become a part of Shuel Lingtian's body. Kacha! Suddenly, just as the two of them were about to turn and leave, a cracking sound rang out. The number of steps he took suddenly increased. As he stepped into the air, a bad premonition welled up in his heart. Kacha! The voice grew louder and louder. Lu Changtian didn't think he had heard it wrong. The voice came from behind him, but it was a little different from what he had expected. Lu Changtian retracted his foot and turned to look in Li Huangdao's direction. If he didn't look, he wouldn't have known what he was doing. When his gaze landed on Li Huangdao, Lu Changtian was stunned. F***, what's going on? The bloody scene of death did not appear. Li Huangdao was still fine. He was not pierced by the sword shadow under the blanket, and his body was still injured. As for his own sword shadow, Lu Changtian suddenly understood the whole story when he thought of the shattering sound from before. That's not right. As if he had thought of something terrifying, he looked around and prepared himself for battle. His entire being was filled with vigilance. What's going on? Did you not practice your swordsmanship properly? Why is it so troublesome to kill someone? Shuel Lingtian also came back to his senses. Seeing that Li Huangdao was fine, he frowned and looked at Lu Changtian. F***, what are you talking about? Lu Changtian rolled his eyes at Shuel Lingtian. He didn't expect Shuel Lingtian to say that. If it were anything else, perhaps Lu Changtian would have hesitated. However, it was the sword technique he had just used. It was absolutely impossible for something to go wrong. Impossible, Lu Changtian coldly replied. He then spoke of his guess. My sword technique can't be wrong. The only explanation is that there should be an expert around, an expert who can instantly shatter my sword technique. Furthermore, it seems that the other party was able to evade your senses without being discovered. Lu Changtian's words left Shuel Lingtian speechless. However, after thinking about it carefully, it wasn't impossible. After all, there were all kinds of strange things in the world. There were indeed some techniques that could avoid the detection of divine sense. Although Shui Ling Tian didn't want to admit Lu Changtian's words, he still released his divine sense and scanned the surroundings again. As for Li Huangdao, because he didn't feel any pain from his body, he couldn't help but open his eyes curiously. Huh, I'm not dead. Seeing that Lu Changtian was in the distance and that the dozens of sword shadows had disappeared, Li Huangdao was very puzzled. Of course, he didn't believe that Lu Changtian was soft-hearted and didn't kill him. Seeing Lu Changtian vigilantly scanning the surroundings, Li Huangdao was even more puzzled. Did you find anything? Lu Changtian looked at Shui Ling Tian and asked. He didn't care about Li Huangdao's gaze. His only thought now was to find the other party. After all, the existence of such a person felt like a knife to his neck, as if he could take his life at any time. Lu Changtian didn't like this feeling, and Shui Ling Tian was even more unaccustomed to it. However, no, are you sure you didn't sense it wrongly? Are you sure there's nothing wrong with your sword technique? Shui Ling Tian questioned again. It wasn't that he didn't believe Lu Changtian, but he really didn't detect anyone else's presence in the surroundings. There were two explanations for what he was facing now. The first was that the other party's cultivation technique was so special that Shui Ling Tian couldn't detect it. The second was that the other party's strength was above his, so he couldn't sense it at all. These were the only two explanations now. As for the others, they didn't exist. Lu Changtian didn't respond to Shui Ling Tian's words. Instead, he looked around. Which scoundrel is hiding in the dark? What are you planning? A rat that only knows how to hide in the dark. Judging from your previous actions, it seems like you want to save Li Huangdao. In that case, why don't you come out and face him head-on instead of hiding in the dark? Lu Changtian's words entered Li Huangdao's ears. For a moment, Li Huangdao was stunned. Someone saved me? The moment this thought appeared, it was immediately suppressed. It wasn't that he didn't believe it, but the entire empire's only martial god had been killed just like that. How could anyone save him? Moreover, it was under the eyes of two great experts, unless the other party's status had surpassed martial gods. But was that possible? Still not coming out? Sensing that there was still no one around, Lu Changtian frowned. Could it really be me? Whoosh! Just when Lu Changtian saw that no one had come out, he couldn't help but wonder if his sword technique was really not good enough. Suddenly, the sound of something piercing through the air could be heard. Careful! At the same time, Shui Ling Tian's voice could be heard. Quickly dodge. F***, what's going on? The moment Shui Ling Tian spoke, Lu Changtian, who had been vigilant all this time, subconsciously used the butterfly steps and dodged to the side. Bam! Rip! The sound of flesh being torn apart could be heard. Feeling the pain in his arm, Lu Changtian didn't cry out in pain. Instead, he was thinking about this matter. Damn, as expected, I guessed correctly. Not bad. Your vigilance is quite good. If you didn't have that bastard's warning, I'm afraid you would have become a cold corpse by now. A woman's voice sounded. Her words were filled with coldness, without the slightest trace of emotion. Bastard? Are you talking about me? On the side, Shui Ling Tian had been looking at the woman's figure. However, when he heard her call him that, the viciousness in his heart was instantly released. Obvious. Looking at Shui Ling Tian, Lu Changtian interjected. Although he knew that Lu Changtian couldn't understand his words, Shui Ling Tian still muttered, Humph. Hurry up and treat the wound on your hand. As for this ant, leave it to me to save him. Whoosh! After coughing, Shui Ling Tian's figure flickered and disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already in front of the mysterious woman. Looking at the woman's appearance, Shui Ling Tian couldn't help but click his tongue. TSK, your appearance is quite good, but it's a pity. The woman's complexion was delicate and pretty. Her entire face seemed to have been delicately carved. Those eyebrows, that nose, those lips, it was a perfect combination. Bastard, why did you come to Guanyin Empire to cause trouble? Why did you have to kill my emperor lord? The woman's voice was filled with dominance, an unquestionable aura. F***, is this little girl ordering me around? Looking at the mysterious woman, Shueling Tian was originally unhappy at being called a bastard, but who would have thought? Since you're courting death, don't blame me for not knowing how to show mercy to the fairer sex. Shueling Tian could see the woman's cultivation with a single glance. Early spirit severing stage. With such a cultivation in the entire heavenly fate realm, it seemed that there was something wrong with her. Looking at the woman, Shueling Tian felt that something was wrong, but he couldn't tell what it was. Because he couldn't speak, Shueling Tian could only reply with a snake's hiss. In response, Lu Tian slapped his forehead, a helpless expression on his face. Fine, let me do it. Thinking about it, Lu Tian looked at the woman. Although she was beautiful, thinking about how powerful she was, Lu Tian came back to his senses and didn't have any greedy thoughts. Senior, may I know who you are? Why are you stopping me from killing? What's your relationship with Guanyin Empire? As far as I know, the only martial god in Guanyin Empire should be that old man. Why? Asking one question after another, the woman looked at Lu Tian and frowned slightly. She was very curious about how Lu Tian was able to dodge her attack. Although Xue Jiao warned him, it wasn't just a matter of luck. Most importantly, he had some strength. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to dodge so many attacks. My surname is Li, and my name is Yin Hui. I'm the daughter of the previous emperor of Guanyin Empire. Tell me, what's my relationship with Guanyin Empire? If the current emperor of Guanyin Empire were to die, the entire empire would be paralyzed. Do you think it's possible for me to allow you to kill him? You are. Li Huangdao was watching from afar. Naturally, he heard everything clearly. However, what shocked Li Huangdao was that the other party's identity was so precious. A daughter of the previous emperor. What kind of concept was that? She was much more honorable than him. If she wanted to control the empire, those old men would be more than happy to do so. However, staying alive was the most important thing right now. As for other things, they would have to wait until they were out of danger. The daughter of the founding emperor. That means you also participated in the encirclement of the Lin family back then, Lu Tian said. This time, his tone wasn't as respectful as before. The Lin family was encircled by the previous emperor of Guanyin Empire. Now that the founding emperor's daughter was here, then he had to find the right person to take revenge on. You the Lin family? Looking at Lu Tian, Li Yanhui was confused. She seemed to be lost. Then, as if she was recalling something, she stood there in a daze. Lu Tian didn't stop her. He turned to look at Shueling Tian and said, "Can you beat her?" Nonsense. If I can't beat you, do you think I'll still be here? Of course, even if Shueling Tian said that, Lu Tian couldn't hear him. In the end, he could only roll his eyes to express his thoughts. Okay. He didn't say anything else. He turned to look at Li Yanhui, waiting for her to wake up. Gray Cloud Mountain Range. As usual, Linley was training in his cave. However, for some reason, his soul seemed to have been summoned by something, and it wanted to leave his body and rush out of his body. Lin Ray felt helpless. He couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. As for the feeling of being summoned, he was very familiar with it. However, he didn't know what it was. For this reason, he kept stabilizing his soul and gave up on cultivating. Sigh, if only the little dragon was here. Now that the little dragon is here, she should know about this. Suddenly, he missed the little dragon very much. After all, they had lived together for 1,000 years. In the Guangyun Imperial Palace, the place was silent. Lu Tian couldn't stand it anymore. I say, are you okay? Can you say something? Are you or are you not? If you are, then you won't be able to leave today. The entire empire will pay the price for your actions back then. You are from the Lin family? Li Yanhui asked after being awakened by Lu Tian. That's right. I am from the Lin family. What do you think? The Lin family, huh? Indeed, the Guanyin Empire did participate in that encirclement. However, it seems that your Lin family went too far back then. You relied on your family's strength to disregard the lives of the people. If you want to talk about revenge, I think it's better if we destroy the Lin family. Back then, the Lin family killed the people of Dunran. The entire Destiny realm almost turned into a living hell because of the Lin family's cruelty. Now, you're biting back and reporting about the Empire's plans. What? Do you think my Empire is easy to bully? You said the Lin family. Impossible. How can the Lin family be like what you said? What I heard before is completely different from what you said. Lu Chantian didn't believe that the Lin family was like what the woman in front of him said. How could the Lin family be like what she said? What's impossible about that? As for the person you mentioned before, I don't know what his intentions are, but I just want to say that I, Li Yin can swear on my life that every word I've said is the truth. There's not the slightest falsehood. Chapter 1121. Since Li Yin was so confident and her cultivation was so strong, there was no need for her to lie. But if that was the case, should he kill those people or not? Lu Chantian was at a loss. If he didn't know about this before, he might have been able to kill them. But now, Lu Chantian didn't think of himself as a good person, but he wasn't someone who would kill the innocent either. Now that something like this had happened, how could he kill them? What should I do? He turned his head and looked at Blood Spirit Sky. Perhaps Blood Spirit Sky could give him the answer he wanted. Even if she didn't, it would be good to give some constructive advice. Roar. Blood Spirit Sky let out a low roar as if to say, "Don't look at me. I don't know even if you look at me. I'm only responsible for killing." Then, she turned around and didn't look at Lu Changtian. Is this okay? Even if Lu Changtian was stupid, he knew what Blood Spirit Sky was trying to do. Looking at this scene, Lu Changtian was in a dilemma. On one hand, it was his master's order. On the other hand, it was that matter. What should I do? Kill her? Seeing that Lu Changtian didn't say anything, Li Yin was a little impatient. She wasn't worried about Lu Changtian, but she wasn't confident that she could kill the blood dragon. After all, the old man died in an instant. Even she couldn't do that. He wanted to respond to Li Yin, but he didn't know what to say. This matter was too difficult for him. For a moment, Lu Changtian could only choose to stay silent. His thoughts were running fast. He wanted to find a way that wouldn't make him feel uncomfortable and wouldn't go against Lin Rei's orders. Lu Changtian's silence made Li Yin very impatient. In her opinion, it was better to use this time to cultivate. Now, she had to waste it here. However, even though she was dissatisfied, she had to suppress it for the sake of Blood Spirit Sky. She turned to look at the injured Li Huangdao and walked to his side. She reached into her clothes and took out a jade bottle. Then, she threw it to Li Huangdao. "Drink it." Li Huangdao took the bottle and looked at the liquid inside. He did not hesitate at all. The situation could not get any worse. He would die either way. What if he made the right bet? With a gulp, he opened the bottle cap and drank all the liquid in the bottle. Old ancestor, this is Looking at Li Yin, Li Huangdao was just about to ask Li Yin what was in the bottle when he felt a burning sensation in his internal organs. This scorching feeling came too quickly, so much so that Li Huangdao didn't even have time to react before it spread throughout his body. It was as if it wanted to incinerate him. Li Huangdao let out a blood-curdling scream. His face was flushed red, as if it was filled with blood. F***CK. Lu Chantian, who was deep in thought at the side, snapped out of his thoughts when he heard Li Huangdao's scream. He turned his head and was shocked when he saw Li Huangdao's current appearance. Then he recovered. "You're making a fuss over nothing. Isn't it just taking some medicine? Really?" He glared at Li Huangdao coldly, then turned to Li Yin. "I say this one. What I have in mind. I won't accuse you and won't make things difficult for me. Are you willing?" "Of course. You don't have a choice. If you want to protect your Guanyin Empire, you have to listen to my orders." Li Yin didn't bring him along. In her opinion, Lu Changtian's words were pure nonsense. "All right, since that's the case, the two of you will come with me." As he spoke, he looked at the Blood Spirit Sky. "Bring the two of them back. Later, we'll go to the Dragon Manor and bring Long Yaoyang along. Since both sides have their own stories, we'll see who's lying when we meet Master in the Green Cloud Mountain Range." "Yes, I agree." The giant head nodded in agreement with Lu Changtian. This was the only way now. But if it were the Blood Spirit Sky, they wouldn't care so much and would just kill them directly. Why go through so much trouble? Let's go. Oh, by the way, bring that person along and follow behind me. Remember, don't think about escaping. A monk can run, but the temple can't. Don't do anything stupid. Then, he ignored Li Yanhui and rushed towards the Arch Palace. In front of the dragon residence, Lu Chantian and the others left the Arch Palace and went straight to the dragon residence. Lu Chantian lacked time the most, and he didn't want to waste it. Senior Lu, you're here. The moment Lu Chantian arrived at the dragon residence, the two guards at the entrance hurried to welcome him. They recognized Lu Chantian the last time he came and knew how powerful he was, so they didn't dare to be negligent. Go call Long Yaoyang out. Lu Chantian ignored the two guards and ordered. Okay. Seeing how cold Lu Chantian was, cold sweat broke out on their foreheads. They admired Lu Chantian very much. In the entire capital, other than the patriarchs of the major clans who dared to call Long Yaoyang that, only this Lu Chantian was scarier. One of them quickly entered the dragon residence and went to Long Yaoyang's room. Patriarch, it's the senior. He asked you to go out. The man said directly. This time, it wasn't like the last time. The door opened and Long Yaoyang appeared. He looked at the guard and said, "Let's go." Then, his figure flashed quickly. He was very careful when facing Lu Chantian. He naturally didn't dare to neglect the other party's strength. Moreover, his son was under the other party's control. Long Yaoyang didn't dare to stop. In a few minutes, Long Yaoyang arrived at the entrance and saw Lu Chantian's figure. As for Xueling Tian, he didn't hide because he had to watch over Li Yanhui and Lu Chantian. However, his body size had shrunk a lot. He looked as tall as Lu Chantian. After looking at Xueling Tian for a while, his gaze fell on Lu Chantian. "You're here. Come with me." He didn't beat around the bush and went straight to the point. "Come with me." "Where to?" Long Yaoyang looked at Lu Chantian suspiciously. However, as a person of high status, he knew how to read people's expressions. Lu Chantian didn't look very good at the moment. He knew that something bad was going to happen. Emperor, Li? Suddenly, his gaze fell on the two people behind Xueling Tian. When he saw Li Huangdao covered in blood and injuries, he subconsciously wanted to say his name. However, when he remembered that Li Huangdao was fine, he quickly changed his words. Li Huangdao glanced at Long Yaoyang's way of addressing him, then snorted coldly and ignored him. "All right, let's go." He turned and left. He didn't care if Long Yaoyang agreed or not. Anyway, with Xueling Tian watching, he wasn't afraid that Long Yaoyang wouldn't leave. Either there was no one around, and he was overthinking things, or the thing around him had a higher cultivation level than him, so much so that he couldn't sense it. Still not coming out? The voice rang out again. Lin Rei had no other choice now. Other than this, he could not think of any other way. Time passed slowly, but the surroundings were still as quiet as before. There was not the slightest sound. Even Hui Yun's breathing was faintly discernible at this moment, as if it was being suppressed by something. Bastard, he cursed in his heart. If his cultivation was still the same as before, why would he have to be so passive? Good, very good. Since that's the case, don't blame me. As he spoke, his eyes flashed with a hint of ruthlessness. After breaking through to the gold core realm, the body would produce the true Samadhi fire. Although it was not as strong as before, it could still burn down the mountains and forests. I don't believe that you can hide for long, unless you can tear the space and hide in it. As he spoke, he mobilized the gold core, and a scorching flame appeared in Lin Rei's palm. Seeing that there was still no movement in his surroundings, Linley did not hesitate any longer. With a wave of his hand, the flames in his hand shot out. Not only did the true Samadhi fire burn the surrounding trees, but it also began to wreak havoc. All of you who are on sentry duty, withdraw from the mountain forest. Linley's voice was filled with spiritual energy, and everyone within 1,000 kilometers could hear him. For these people, Lin Rei did not want anything to happen to them. Although he wanted to reveal the thing behind him, he did not want to hurt innocent lives. Moreover, these people were his subordinates. What's going on? The 30 people who were patrolling suddenly heard Lin Ray's voice. Although they had doubts in their hearts, they had to listen to such orders. Without another word, he left the sentry post and rushed out of the mountain range. Through his divine sense, he saw those people leave. Linley let out a sigh of relief. Previously, he had nothing to worry about. Oh, let the flame burn more fiercely. Now that he had nothing to worry about, Linley no longer cared. The flames once more appeared, and he tossed it high into the air, charging off into the distance. At this moment, Lin Ray was determined to lure out the thing behind him. Otherwise, if he did not solve this problem, there would always be a suitable solution. Moreover, if there was a problem with the 3 souls and 7 spirits, it would be very serious. Bastard boy, I haven't seen you for a while, and you've become more and more ruthless. In the dark, a young man was on a tree. Looking at Lin Ray's scene, the young man's face showed a wry smile. Hurry up and get out. Although it's not a big deal to burn the mountain range, this is the Destiny world after all. It's not good to do something like this. An electronic synthesized voice sounded in the young man's ear. Alas, I wanted to play for a while. I didn't expect this, boy. The young man wanted to say something, but stopped. Finally, he nodded helplessly. Okay. In that case, let's go. After saying that, the young man no longer hid. He took a step forward and walked in the direction of Lin Ray. Linley, who had been using his divine sense to investigate this entire time, suddenly sensed a figure appear within his divine sense. However, when he saw the face of the figure clearly, he felt as though he had been struck by lightning. His body froze on the spot, a stunned look on his face. What the hell? Looking at the face of the person who had appeared, Linley felt as if 10,000 curses were running through his mind. Wasn't that the face of the person who had appeared was the same as the body of his previous body? That's not right. Why is the body here? Looking at his appearance, he seems to have been here before. What the hell is going on? His spiritual sense stared at the young man's every move. His face was full of doubts. Finally, the young man's figure appeared in Lin Ray's line of sight. Looking at him, Lin Ray could not help but ask, "Who are you? Why is your appearance? Bastard boy, did you forget about me?" Before Lin Ray could finish his words, an angry voice came from the young man's mouth. "What? You?" Lin Ray was very familiar with the young man's angry tone. Wasn't this the little dragon that he had cursed countless times in his heart? Thinking about it, he looked up at the figure in the sky and could not help but ask, Little dragon?" Until now, Lin Ray still could not believe that the little dragon was here. However, he felt the soul in his body throbbing even more. Inexplicably, Lin Ray believed that the young man in front of him was his body and the soul in his body was the little dragon. Chapter 11:23. You little bastard, you finally know who I am. Did you think you'd forgotten about me after coming here? With that, he landed on Lin Ray's body. He was fuming and looked very strange, especially when Lin Ray looked at his own body and made such an expression he couldn't bear to look at it directly. However, your current cultivation is too weak. I admit that my cultivation is very strong, but I can't even sense it from such a short distance. Tell me, have you been sightseeing all this time? The little dragon's words made Lin Ray speechless. What do you mean sightseeing? What do you mean by too weak? It's obvious that you put me in a place that's too remote. Take a look and feel the surrounding spiritual energy. How can this kind of existence provide for my daily cultivation? Of course, these were all thoughts in Lin Ray's heart. He didn't say it out loud, but thinking of this, the biggest doubt in his heart surged. Looking up at the little dragon, the nameless anger in Lin Ray's heart instantly filled up. Little dragon, you're really something. You didn't even discuss it with me and took the initiative to put me in this place. Tell me, how do you want to solve this matter? Don't try to brush me off with this empty promise. If you don't give me something of equivalent value, don't try to fool me. When Linley's words reached Xiaolong's ears, Xiaolong, who had been quite happy, suddenly felt his heart tremble. He awkwardly took a step back. I thought that after staying here for so long, your personality would have changed a bit. But it's hard to change one's nature. Chang'e sighed and showed a pained expression. Hey, don't say so much. My nature doesn't exist. I just want to know, what exactly should you give me? I'm telling you, I won't take a fancy to anything bad. After all, I'm already at the early stage of the Dao fruit realm. You decide for yourself. The two had been together for a long time, so Lin Rei knew what the little dragon was thinking when he farted. F***CK, can't you give me some face? In any case, I used to be a powerhouse. Do you think I don't have any face when you act like this? Cut the crap and hurry up. Don't be so stingy. You're still an expert, so don't be so stingy. Lin Rei didn't fall for the little dragon's tricks at all. From Lin Rei's point of view, he should take advantage of this opportunity to ask for as much as he could. Who knew what would happen if the little dragon reneged on his debt? If he did not do so now, at that time, there would be no one left to reason with. Give it to him. The electronically synthesized voice was cold and merciless. F***CK, you're too disloyal. The little dragon was stunned. He didn't expect the system to be so shameless. It was as if he was the one who banished Lin Rei to the realm of destiny. What about now? What kind of situation was this? Why was it his problem now? Stop wasting time. Return the body to Lin Rei first. You can't stay here for long. Moreover, your control over Lin Rei's body isn't perfect. Your face will leak out laws that this world can't withstand. You? Fine. He wanted to refute, but the system was right. He could make this world completely collapse with just a trace of his aura. Heeding the commands of the system, he turned to look at Linley, his face solemn. Kid, now isn't the time to be discussing this. Hurry up and return to your body. Otherwise, I'm afraid this world will explode from my power. Hurry up. After saying that, without waiting for Lin Rei's response, the little dragon's soul instantly withdrew from Lin Rei's body. Bang! A muffled sound was heard. Lin Rei's body, which was originally standing, was now lying on the ground like a living dead. Other than not opening his eyes and breathing, everything else was normal. His cheeks were rosy and glossy. He didn't look like a person without a soul at all. F***CK, are you messing with me? Looking at his body without a soul, Lin Rei's face was full of shock. What is this? You want me to come and go as you wish? Who do you think I am? Do you think I don't care about my reputation? Thinking about it, Lin Rei was very unhappy. He wouldn't listen to the little dragon. If he really did it, then wouldn't he become a pet in the end? Therefore, he was determined not to listen to the little dragon's arrangement. Moreover, since the little dragon was here, it meant that something must have happened up there. Otherwise, why would the little dragon let him return to his body so quickly? What a joke. According to Lin Rei's expectations, it would take at least 1,000 years to summon him back. Therefore, Lin Rei wasn't in a hurry. The ones who should be in a hurry were the little dragon and the system. Thinking of this, a smile appeared on his handsome face. I say, little dragon, don't be in a hurry. We haven't discussed the conditions before. You're making me lose face. System, I know you can hear me. Tell me, what kind of compensation are you going to give me? Don't think that I'm only talking about the little dragon. You're the same. If it weren't for you, I don't believe that the little dragon has the ability to get me here. You say, right? System. In the system space, seeing Lin Rei so proud, especially that annoying smile that hadn't been seen for a long time, the little dragon couldn't help but want to rush out and give him a good beating. What should we do? Say something. Looking up at the sky, the voice sounded in the system space. This started because of you. Say something. In any case, based on my understanding of this kid, if you don't give him the item, it'll be difficult to make him submit. As he spoke, his gaze fell on Linley's annoying face, and the impulse in his heart grew even stronger. Sigh, time is of the essence. Since this little guy wants the thing, give it to him. With that said, the voice disappeared and the system's voice sounded in Lin Rei's mind. Host, as long as you return to your main body, The system will give you 2 chances at the lottery and the 5th or 6th level of the Chaos Heavenly Sutra. How about it? Oh, are you sure? To be honest, Lin Ray was tempted by the system's offer. He was especially tempted, especially when he heard about the 5th or 6th level of the cultivation technique. Such things were something that could only be chanced upon by luck. According to his previous speed, it would probably take a very, very long time to obtain the 2nd level of the cultivation technique. As for the 2 chances at the lottery, to put it bluntly, although Lin Ray felt that it was a pity, compared to the cultivation technique, the brilliance of the lottery was somewhat dim. Yes, I'm sure. The system's response was very straightforward, without any intention of beating around the bush. TSK. Thinking about how the system had given him such a straightforward reward, Lin Ray was momentarily stunned. However, on second thought, he felt that it was nothing. After all, he had what he wanted. As for the rest, he could talk about it when he returned to his main body. Okay, Lin Ray responded. Then, without waiting for the system to speak again, the system's voice sounded again. Little dragon, don't be stingy. Now that the system has given me something so stingy, tell me, if you don't give me something good, won't you feel guilty? The little dragon was already used to Lin Ray's insatiable greed. Chapter 1124. How about the 5 elemental battle technique and an escape technique? The little dragon reported the things it wanted. Just 2. Nonsense, what do you think? The little dragon rolled its eyes at Lin Ray's insatiable greed. These 2 things are beyond the saint realm. Just these 2 things will take you a long time to learn. Moreover, if you learn these 2 things, you can basically do whatever you want in the holy world without any problems. TSK. Although the little dragon was exaggerating, he had to admit that the little dragon's things were basically high-quality goods. He had gotten it before, then, TSK, can you do it or not? Say something. Seeing that Lin Ray did not speak, the little dragon was anxious. Oh, your temper is getting worse. Seeing the little dragon's anxious eyes, Lin Ray quickly admitted defeat. Since he had gotten what he wanted, it would not be good to ask for more. Okay. Saying that, he sat down cross-legged and completely withdrew the technique. His body relaxed as he sensed the call of the main body. In fact, even if they did not give it to Lin Ray, it was impossible for him to stay in this body for long. After all, this body was too weak, and he still had many things waiting for him to deal with. The entire space was completely silent. Other than the place where Lin Ray was, the surroundings were basically surrounded by the true samadhi fire. The heat waves were monstrous and rolling. That heat wave, even an ordinary person would be roasted by it. Time passed little by little. The induction from the main body became stronger and stronger, and the soul in the body began to leave the body. It's finally done. In the system, seeing Linley's soul emerge from that fleshly body, the burden in his heart was finally lifted. And yes, but don't let your guard down. Use your power to seal the surrounding area. After all, the host has not been in the body for a long time. It is normal for the body's spiritual energy to be a little out of control. After all, this isn't the celestial realm where RA can do whatever he wants. If he accidentally releases a trace of his aura, the entire destiny realm might collapse. This guy, looking at Lin Ray, the little dragon nodded. Got it. Don't worry, I'll keep watch. With that said, Zhang Xian walked to the side. Following the system's instructions, he instantly released his cultivation and sealed off Lin Ray's surroundings, forming a circular protective barrier. This way, Lin Ray would be cut off from the outside world. Even if he lost control of his cultivation after the fusion, it wouldn't matter much. On the side, Lin Ray's soul had completely separated from his mortal body and was floating in the air. Looking at his body lying quietly on the ground, Lin Ray's heart was filled with excitement. He had imagined this scene many times, but it was always a dream. But now his dream had come true. All things returned to origin, fuse. Zhang Xian's hand seals were constantly forming hand seals. The soul that was originally a physical body slowly turned into a wisp of green smoke and drilled into the body bit by bit. Bit by bit, it started with the lower half of the body, then the lower half of the body, until a minute later, when the last bit of soul was smeared into the body that originally had no heartbeat suddenly had a heartbeat. Dong, dong, dong. That powerful heartbeat was like the sound of a thunder drum, shocking people's hearts. This bastard, just you wait. You'll spit out those who cheated me today, sooner or later. Seeing Lin Ray return to his body, the original resentment in his heart was instantly released. Just like this, time passed bit by bit. A quarter of an hour passed. Under the gaze of the little dragon and the system, Lin Ray's eyes that were always closed opened. Phew, finally. I've finally found my body. It really wasn't easy. Feeling the powerful spiritual energy flowing in his body, Lin Ray's face was filled with a smile. Rubbing his sleepy eyes, he got up and moved his body that hadn't moved for a long time. Suddenly, there was a crackling sound that sounded like bones breaking. The sound was very deafening, and one couldn't bear to listen to it. Uncomfortable. Looking down, he looked at his hands, looked at his body's post-celestial treasures, and felt the powerful cultivation in his body. His originally depressed heart instantly disappeared. Boom! Suddenly, a blood-colored flame rushed out of his palm and floated in the air. It looked very beautiful. Illusory spirit blood fire, long time no see. Looking down at the illusory spirit blood fire in his hand, that familiar feeling made his heart feel warm and safe. Phew! Exhaling a long breath, his face relaxed. Now that my body has returned, it's time to deal with my matter. Looking up, Lin Ray's divine sense instantly covered the entire blue cloud mountain range. In Lin Ray's mind, Lu Chantian led the people from the blood spirit sky over here. However, looks like I'll have to deal with the one in front of me first. Thinking about it, he communicated with the little dragon. Remove the defensive barrier. Can you control your own power? If you can't, then this energy barrier must never be removed. You also know that this isn't the divine world. This divine world can't block the slightest bit of your saint's spiritual chi. The little dragon reminded him. Hurry up. If I can't control my own power, I'm afraid I'll really be crippled. Rolling his eyes at the little dragon, he said impatiently, If that's the case, then all right. Seeing Lin Ray's confident look, the little dragon didn't hesitate. After all, Lin Ray wouldn't lie about this matter. In response, he waved his hand, and the energy shield that was originally surrounding him instantly disappeared. Feeling the energy disappear, his gaze fell on the samadhi true fire around him. Frowning slightly, he raised his hand, and the illusory spirit blood fire rushed out. Go, absorb the flames here. Remember, it can't be just a little bit of samadhi true fire. Whoosh! As soon as Lin Ray finished speaking, the illusory spirit blood fire seemed to have heard Lin Ray's command and rushed into the forest. Wherever the illusory spirit blood fire passed, the samadhi true fire disappeared in an instant, leaving behind only ashes. Raising his hand, he pointed in the direction of Lu Changtian. Suddenly, a terrifying suction force appeared. Come here. In the distance, Lu Changtian, who was originally rushing, suddenly felt a terrifying energy confining them. In the next moment, their bodies were uncontrollably pulled into the depths of the blue cloud mountain range. What's going on? When such a strange thing happened, Lu Changtian was shocked. He turned his head to look at the blood spirit sky, wanting to seek an answer. Don't look at me. How would I know? As if understanding Lu Changtian's meaning, he roared twice. F***CK. In response to the blood spirit sky's response, Lu Changtian felt as if a crow had flown over his head. The situation was very awkward. He forgot that he didn't understand the language of the blood spirit sky. However, just as the two of them were looking at each other in confusion, a group of people naturally appeared in front of Lin Ray. F***CK, brat, what are you doing? Didn't you say not to release your cultivation? Don't you know that your cultivation will cause this world to collapse? The little dragon said angrily. What's there to be surprised about? Why release my cultivation just now? I had already set up an isolation formation. It's fine. Chapter 11:25. Bastard. The little dragon mumbled and shut his mouth. As for the matter of heading to the holy world, he didn't mention it now. Anyway, it wasn't urgent, and he understood that Lin Ray still had things to deal with. Looking at the group of people, Lin Ray withdrew his Holy Spirit power and placed the two people on the ground. Looking at the people Lu Chantian brought, he had seen Emperor Li before. As for Long Yaoyong and Li Yanhui, he had never seen them before. Little Tian, I asked you to deal with it. Why'd you bring them back? Lin Ray asked. You are? Lu Chantian, who was in a state of shock, heard Lin Ray's words and turned to look at Lin Ray. The moment he saw Lin Ray, Lu Chantian was stunned. He stood there in a daze, and his face was full of doubts. He didn't know who this person was, but when he glanced at Lin Ray, his gaze fell on a young man lying on the ground behind Lin Ray. What did you do to my master? That's right, the young man lying behind Lin Ray was Lin Ray from the Destiny Realm. However, he was only in his physical body now. What? Lu Chantian's words caught Shuel Lingtian's attention. He looked in the direction Lu Chantian pointed and saw the body lying on the ground. His expression changed abruptly, and he looked at Lin Ray with murderous eyes. Although he was unhappy with Lin Ray, they had become friends during this period of time. More importantly, Lin Ray said that he could help him revive the Blood Flood Dragon race. Now that Lin Ray was dead, what about his promise? Who could he look for? Do you know what crime you have committed? Do you think you can leave after killing my people? Shuel Lingtian looked at Lin Ray and said, Damn this guy. When did I become his subordinate? Why didn't I know about it? Looking at the blood spirit sky, Lin Ray frowned slightly. He then said, Little thing, who do you think I am? What do you think I am? Your man? You're clearly my subordinate. Lin Ray understood that this matter was very hard to believe. Thinking about it, he casually pointed at the body behind him, and a suction force suddenly appeared. Oh, the dragon's roar shook the heavens, and the 9 dragons roared in unison. That scene and sound was something that they would never forget in their lifetime. The Chaos Dragon Spear was pulled out of the body by Linley's suction force and landed in Linley's hand. Oh, the dragon's shadow appeared again. What was different was that when the dragon's roar appeared, 9 enormous creatures rushed out of the Chaos Dragon Spear. They roamed the 9 heavens and finally floated above Lin Ray's head. Greetings, Master. This scene could be said to be shocking to everyone present, especially the Blood Dragon Blood Spirit Sky. He naturally understood what this meant. This treasure couldn't change owners, especially such a divine weapon. He had his pride. Thinking about it, wasn't the person in front of him talking about Lin Ray himself? As soon as this thought came to his mind, he looked at Lin Ray with a different gaze. Why, you are Lin Ray? Nonsense. Then who is he? Lin Ray knew what the Blood Spirit Sky was referring to. He is the physical body in the Destiny world, and this physical body is my true body, a physical body in the Saint realm. As he said that, his expression was filled with arrogance, as if he was looking down on the world. As Saint you. Although Blood Spirit Sky had sensed that aura before, he was still somewhat shocked when it really appeared. After all, this matter was too shocking. All right, I promised you that I would help you revive the Blood Dragon clan. Of course, I will keep my word. I, Lin Ray, will naturally keep my word. After saying that, his gaze fell on Lu Chantian. During this period of time, Master will leave here and go to a place with abundant spiritual chi. If you have someone you want to say goodbye to, go quickly. Otherwise, it's hard to say if you will be able to come back in the future. Lin Ray didn't care whether Lu Chantian believed it or not. In any case, now that his body had been changed back, he didn't need to use the physical body behind him anymore. Thinking about it, he stretched out his hand, and a ball of illusory spirit blood fire appeared. With a shake of his hand, the illusory spirit blood fire seemed to transform into a blood-colored spirit and fell on the body. Boom! Suddenly, the illusory spirit blood fire soared. In just an instant, the originally soaring flames quickly disappeared. In the end, it turned into a corpse that was burned by the flames. In the end, not even ashes were left behind. The appearance of this scene caused Lu Changtian's mood to surge like a river, and it was difficult for him to calm down. In the end, Lu Changtian questioned, "Are you really master?" However, after hearing Lu Changtian's question, Lin Rei's eyes flashed with disappointment. "Don't ask about this matter after this. This sovereign is your master, Lin Rei. This sovereign has just returned to his original body. Also, what's the matter with the three of them?" His gaze fell on a few people behind him and couldn't help but feel puzzled. He knew Emperor Li, but he didn't know the other two. Moreover, he remembered that he wanted Lu Changtian to kill people. Why the hell did he bring people back? Did he want to bring people back for him to kill? Although he still had some doubts about Lin Rei, the matter of Li Yin Hui and the others replaced them. Thinking about this matter, Lu Changtian opened his mouth and told Lin Rei everything that Li Yanhui said before. At the side, Long Yaoyang's expression changed several times. In the end, there was only fear in his eyes. What's going on? Didn't they say that the entire empire only had one martial god, that old thing? Why is there another founder's daughter? Looking at Li Yanhui, Long Yaoyang's heart was filled with hatred. He originally thought that he could use this matter to eradicate the empire, but now, it seemed like, From the side, Lin Li had been observing the expressions of the three people. Seeing Long Yaoyang's changing expression, he understood the whole story. He also understood who was the one who was lying. Looking at Li Yanhui, Lin Rei didn't have much of a good feeling. If his original body hadn't come, perhaps he would have. But now, there was only disdain. Looking at Long Yaoyang, Lin Rei said, "Long Yaoyang, do you know what this sovereign hates the most?" What? There are two types of people that this sovereign hates the most. The first type is those who betray me. The second type is those who deceive me like you. He looked at Lu Changtian and said coldly, "I'll leave it to you to handle this matter. As for how to deal with it, it's up to you. I won't interfere." As he spoke, he didn't even wait for Lu Changtian's retort. He turned around and walked toward Shandong. Just now, he had noticed that his actions were all in his mother's sight, especially when he burned that body. Lu Changtian frowned when he heard Lin Rei's words. He didn't know what to do with Long Yaoyang. Long Ming had asked him to take care of the Long family. Now that the Long family was in trouble, what should he do? Chapter 11:26. You saw it all? Huiyun's cave. As soon as he entered the cave, he saw Huiyun standing at the entrance. She was looking outside in a daze. Her expression was filled with disbelief and shock. Hearing Lin Li's voice, Firecloud regained his composure. He looked at Lin Li with a complex look in his eyes. He wanted to ask, but he was also afraid to ask. He had clearly seen the scene just now. His son's body had been incinerated. That scene was something he would never forget for the rest of his life. "I am Lin Rei, your son. The person outside who was burned to ashes by me is also Lin Rei. Our souls are the same person. It's just that our bodies are different." In order to make his mother accept it, Lin Rei told her the whole story. Of course, when he mentioned the system, Lin Rei skipped it. After all, the system was too unimaginable. It wasn't because he didn't trust Huiyun, but because he was afraid that Huiyun would find out and bring him unnecessary trouble. Just like that, from the battle with the demonic beasts in the divine world to landing in the destiny world, he told her the whole story. That's how it is. I am the strongest and most sacred person in the divine world. I am also the sect master of the Xuanzong sect and the person in charge of the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion. In the divine world, my strength is already at the top. Moreover, before I landed here, I broke through to the Sage Realm. I can enter the Holy World at any time. I just don't know why I came here. Looking at Huiyun, looking at his mother, Lin Rei's expression was full of tenderness. But I don't regret coming here. I have a beautiful, and generous mother like you. I'm very satisfied. PFFF, Huiyun, who was originally wearing a serious expression, heard Lin Rei's unexpected flattery. She suddenly burst out laughing. The worry and shock on her face disappeared and was replaced by tenderness. "You child, how old am I? I'm still pretty." Although she said that, she was very happy in her heart. How could that be? Mother is the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. As he spoke, Lin Rei saw the smile on Hui Yun's face. He knew that the previous matter was over. With such thoughts in mind, the smile on Zhang Xian's face disappeared, replaced by a solemn look. "Mom, look, now that your son has recovered his strength, it's only natural for him to return to the firmament and enter the holy world. Now that I'm leaving, I'm worried about all of you. Why don't you, grandfather, and the others follow me to the deity world? In the divine world, even if you don't cultivate, the lifespan of an ordinary person is 400 to 500 years, let alone cultivating. As long as you cultivate, you can become a top existence in this world at any time. When the time comes, I'll live as long as the heavens and the earth." Although it's a little exaggerated, it's not too far off. After saying that, Zhang Xian looked at Hui Yun with a pleading gaze. He really wanted them to leave with him. After all, if they wanted to survive on this planet, they had to work harder than others. Of course, there was another reason. He had offended a lot of people here. He was afraid that after he left, those enemies would seek revenge on the Lin family and his parents. Looking at her son, Hui Yun's face was filled with hesitation. She also wanted to leave. However, when she thought of her useless husband, she hesitated. "Mother, you're not willing?" Seeing his mother hesitating, Lin Rei said in disappointment. Seeing Lin Rei's disappointment, Hui Yun became anxious. She hurriedly explained, No, it's just that your father— Oh, that's right. My father hasn't been found yet." Hearing Hui Yun's words, Lin Rei slapped his forehead in embarrassment. He immediately released his divine sense. Although he was afraid that this world would collapse, he didn't care anymore. The entire heavenly fate realm appeared in his mind. Using his divine sense, he quickly searched for his father's figure. Although it had been many years, he still remembered his father's figure. In the depths of the Cloudwind Sect in the Guangyun Empire, in a pitch-black dungeon, a man's lower body was submerged in water. His upper body was also exposed. However, his upper body was badly mutilated and covered in wounds. It was from this miserable man that Lin Rei felt a trace of his bloodline calling out to him. In this world, only the bloodline of one's closest relatives could make him feel this way. Father? Seeing that figure, Lin Rei's tears flowed down from his eyes. His face was filled with pain. In the outside world, seeing her son's expression, Hui Yun became suspicious. She didn't understand what was wrong with her son. "Son, what's wrong with you?" Looking at her son, Hui Yun asked. "Mom, wait a moment. I'll go and bring father back." After coming back to his senses, without waiting for Hui Yun to reply, Lin Rei's body flashed and disappeared. In the sky above the Cloudwind Sect, the space that was originally empty started to distort. Suddenly, a figure appeared out of thin air. The Cloudwind Sect. How audacious. They actually dared to imprison my father. Looking down at the sect, in Linley's eyes, this place had already become a dead sect. This Cloudwind Sect had already been sentenced to death by Lin Rei. It was a place that could never be purified. In front of the figure, in the dungeon in his mind, a crack suddenly appeared. Lin Rei's figure walked out from the crack. In the divine realm, perhaps Lin Rei didn't have the ability to tear space apart. However, in this heaven's fate realm, a low-level realm like this, not to mention tearing space apart, it was likely that Lin Rei could destroy this world with a casual stomp of his foot. In the darkness, looking at his father who was being tortured to the point of not being able to recognize him, Lin Rei was unable to contain the killing intent in his heart. After letting out a long breath, he calmed his murderous heart. He took a step forward and arrived beside his father. Extending his hand, he removed all of the shackles on his body. Clang, clang, clang. The man who was unconscious slowly opened his extremely tired eyelids. I already said that I don't know. Even if you all kill me, I also don't know about the Lin family's treasure that you all spoke of. The man's voice sounded. Lin Rei felt relieved. Since he was still able to speak, it meant that he was fine. If it was before he returned to his original body, perhaps this kind of injury would be very troublesome for him. However, to the current Lin Rei, it was a piece of cake. Looking at the man, Lin Rei opened his mouth. However, his voice was filled with sobs. Father Rei, Rei is here to bring you home. Hearing those words, a trace of light flashed through the man's eyes. He raised his head and looked at Lin Rei. Following that, a trace of self-ridicule flashed through his eyes. Hey, not bad. This time around, you've changed your tactics. You even dare to impersonate my son. Too shameless. Hearing his father's words, Lin Rei felt somewhat helpless. Although he didn't know what treasure was, Lin Rei was very disdainful of it. Treasures were nothing to him. Dad, I am really your son, Lin Rei. This time, I have specially come to bring you home. If you don't believe me, you'll believe me when you see Mom later. Chapter 11:27. Although Lin Rei desperately wanted to prove that he was his son, in the end, the man still didn't believe him. After all, he knew that he hadn't been away for long. Even if his son was a genius, it was impossible for him to cultivate to the point where he could rush into the sect that had been passed down for thousands of years in just a few years. Forget it. Let's deal with them first. Since they dared to do this to you, they must bear my wrath. Seeing the look of disbelief in Lin Feng's eyes, Lin Rei no longer hesitated. Since he didn't believe him, he had no choice but to believe him when the facts were placed in front of his eyes. With that thought, he ignored Lin Feng's thoughts and stretched out his hand. Spiritual energy emerged and wrapped around Lin Feng. Then, he dragged him behind him and waved his hand in front of him. A black hole appeared. What kind of power is this? Behind him, Lin Rei's face was full of shock when he saw this method. He had never heard of this method before. Even a sect master of the Fengyun sect didn't have this kind of method. Lin Rei didn't know what Lin Feng was thinking. At this moment, Lin Rei's heart was filled with anger. The only thing he wanted to do now was to rush out and raze the Fengyun sect to the ground. This time, he came to warn all the living beings in the Destiny realm that he, Lin Rei, could not touch his people. If they moved, they would die. Under Lin Feng's shocked gaze, Lin Rei took a step forward and brought Lin Feng into the black hole. A crack appeared above the Fengyun sect. Lin Rei and Lin Feng, who had disappeared in the dungeon, walked out of the crack. They stood in the air and looked down at the Fengyun sect below. People of the Fengyun sect, you imprisoned my father, Lin Feng. Today is your doomsday. The voice was mixed with spiritual energy. It was so loud that it spread to the ears of everyone in the Fengyun sect for a long time. In the best hall of the Fengyun sect, the sect master of the Fengyun sect, Feng Ji, was sitting in the hall and meditating. Suddenly, a voice exploded in his ears like a sudden clap of thunder, pulling him back to reality from his meditation. Who dares to clamor in my Fengyun sect? Do you want to die? With a gloomy expression, he snorted coldly in the direction where the voice came from. Then, his figure flashed, turning into a streak of light and disappearing from the spot. When he saw Feng Ji again, he was outside the hall. Feng Ji appeared outside the hall and looked up into the sky. He saw Lin Rei and Lin Feng behind him. Lin Feng? He knew about Lin Feng. He was a descendant of the Lin family. Previously, he had captured him and placed him in the dungeon. But now he was here. Looking at Lin Feng, Feng Ji's expression became more and more gloomy. Now that Lin Feng had appeared, didn't that mean that the young man could come and go freely in his Fengyun sect without being discovered by others? Moreover, he could stand in the air. This strength appeared on a young man, which was enough to make him pay attention. He had such a cultivation at such a young age. Then, after he got up, how powerful would his cultivation be? As the sect master, Feng Ji had to consider the overall situation. After all, if he made the slightest mistake, his entire Fengyun sect would be in trouble. Thinking of this, Feng Ji's expression eased a little. Then, he stepped out and soared into the sky. Finally, he came in front of Lin Rei and stood side by side with him. Fellow Taoist, it's not very good for you to come and go freely in my territory. As he spoke, he looked at Lin Feng. The meaning of his words was very obvious. Lin Rei only felt that Feng Zhi's words were very funny. His face was full of disdain. Did you discuss with me before you captured my father and brought him to the Fengyun sect? I'm saying that your Fengyun sect is nothing in my eyes. This time, I'm not only going to bring my father along, but I'm also going to calculate the corresponding price for the injuries you've inflicted on my father's body and soul over the years. I've already said before that the entire Fengyun sect, regardless of whether you participated or not, since your Fengyun sect captured my father, your entire sect will have to bear my wrath, without exception. As he spoke, he glanced at his father, Lin Feng, who was behind him. Dad, look at your son, and I'll vent your anger for you. As he spoke, he didn't wait for Lin Feng to react. He raised his hand and slapped the air in front of him. Suddenly, a palm condensed from spiritual energy rushed out. You. Feng Zhi's expression darkened at Lin Rei's willfulness. He understood that since the other party had taken action, it meant that this matter had reached a point of no return. Moreover, kidnapping the father of someone who seemed to be a martial god was a great humiliation to the martial god. This kind of thing was absolutely not allowed to happen. If this happened to him, Feng Zhi, he would probably be even crazier. Seeing that the palm was getting closer and closer to him, Feng Zhi subconsciously wanted to dodge. However, in the next moment, Feng Zhi's body seemed to be fixed. He was so angry that he couldn't move. What's going on? My body. Feng Zhi's expression suddenly changed. His expression was extremely ugly. Seeing that the palm was about to hit him, his body couldn't move. Don't waste your energy. In front of this sovereign, not to mention you, even if it was the entire Destiny realm, this sovereign could shatter it with a single slap. Moreover, you're just a mere martial god in the initial stage. Lin Rei's words were arrogant in Feng Zhi's eyes. In Lin Feng's eyes, they were arrogant. However, those who truly knew Lin Rei didn't think so. Saints, when they reached the highest realm, were existences that could open up a world by themselves. Casually shattering this kind of low-level realm was as simple as eating a meal. Brat, you dare! Feng Zhi panicked. He didn't believe Lin Rei's words. However, when he felt the dangerous aura from that palm, he understood that if he was hit, even if he didn't die, he would be crippled. Idiot! Lin Rei didn't bother with Feng Zhi anymore. In his heart, Feng Zhi was already a dead man. He turned around and looked down at the Fengyun sect. With a thought, the Scarlet Flame Tiger instantly appeared in front of Lin Rei. Right now, the Scarlet Flame Tiger that appeared was a miniature version. If the Scarlet Flame Tiger were to release its entire body, it might cause this world to explode. Go! Kill everyone from that sect down there. Don't leave a single one alive. After that, come and look for me. Ew. You're talking to him? Behind him, Lin Feng, who had been paying attention to Lin Rei, looked at this Lin Rei, who kept saying that he was his son, was actually talking to a tiger. This caused Lin Feng's brain to be unable to process what was going on. However, at the next moment, under Lin Feng's astonished gaze, the Scarlet Flame Tiger spoke in human language. Brother Lei, it's been so many years since we last met. You're still the same. Why aren't you comforting me? Hearing the Scarlet Flame Tiger's usual words, Lin Rei's parents had a helpless expression on their faces. All right, hurry up and do it. When we return to the Divine Realm, I'll tell you everything that happened during this period of time. After saying that, he didn't wait for the Scarlet Flame Tiger to speak again and turned to Lin Feng with a smile. Dad, let's go home. When we meet Mom, you will know that I am really your son. Lin Feng, who was in shock, still couldn't believe that this was really his precious son. It wasn't that he didn't want to believe it, but the current Lin Rei was too strong. He was so strong that he exceeded his looks. Chapter 1128. I'll leave it to you. Lin Feng didn't respond. Lin Rei didn't think too much about it and warned the Scarlet Flame Tiger. Then, he tore open space and left the Fengyun sect's territory. Looking at Lin Rei's disappearing figure, the Scarlet Flame Tiger grumbled. Then, it returned to its usual coldness. Sigh, Brother Lei is really heartless. It turned around and looked at Feng Ji, who was already dead. Its expression was full of disdain. It was as if Feng Ji wasn't even qualified to be its meal. I don't know what Brother Lei is thinking. He came to such a low-level plane and even attacked an ant. The moment it came out, the scarlet flame tiger knew that this wasn't the realm of the gods. It was the smallest and barren plane in the great thousand world. Its eyes were full of confusion. However, it never disobeyed Lin Rei's orders. It looked down at the Fengyun sect. At this moment, because of Lin Rei's voice, everyone in the Fengyun sect, whether they were in closed-door cultivation or not, came out of their caves to investigate the situation. Forget it. I don't want to think about it. Let's end this quickly. I haven't seen Brother Lei for a long time. This time, I have to stay longer. Thinking of Lin Rei, the scarlet flame tiger couldn't be bothered to wait any longer. It lifted its leg and lightly stepped down. Boom! A piercing sound rang in the ears of the Fengyun sect. Some of the higher-ups with higher cultivation felt the piercing sound. Their expressions changed abruptly. They looked up and saw that the sky had darkened. Something that looked like the leg of a demonic beast was descending from the sky. Damn, what is that? Looking at the huge object that suddenly appeared in the sky, someone spoke. This power. One of the more attentive ones sensed this powerful chi. He understood that if this chi landed on his sect, his entire sect would be destroyed. If that wasn't the case, everyone in his sect would be annihilated. Not good. Elders, quickly organize the disciples and leave. This is going to destroy our Fengyun sect. Suddenly, an elder spoke to the people around him. What? Everyone was shocked. Although they didn't understand why, the thing that descended from the sky was too powerful. It was so powerful that they didn't have the slightest thought of resisting. Quick! With that, the old men dashed towards their respective cave residences. As for the others, after the old men left, they naturally reacted and left one by one to prepare. As for the ordinary disciples of the Fengyun sect, how could they possibly move at this moment? Just the aura of the scarlet tiger alone was enough to suppress their bodies to the point that they could no longer control their bodies. How could they even think of running away? This day was destined to be the day of the Fengyun sect destruction, as well as a warning to the entire Destiny realm. In the depths of the green cloud mountain range. In Huiyun's cave residence, Lin Rei left. Huiyun stood there in a daze. Her mind was still filled with the words that Lin Rei had said before he left. He had said that he was going to bring her father home. Can you really bring it back? After all these years of waiting, Huiyun had hoped time and time again, only to be met with despair time and time again. In this repeated cycle, she was in complete despair. Whoosh! In the quiet cave residence, a strange sound suddenly rang out. Huiyun, who had sunk into silence, heard this strange sound and snapped back to reality. She turned around to look. You! When she turned around and saw the strange sound, Huiyun was completely stunned. Her face was filled with disbelief as tears began to well up in her eyes. Yun, Yuna, a questioning voice rang out in the cave residence. How is it? I told you before that I really am your son, Lin Rei, but you didn't believe me. Now that you've seen your mother, you should believe me, right? Seeing his father and mother's actions, Lin Rei couldn't help but laugh. The Cangyin mountain range wasn't very far from the Fengyun sect. Lin Rei could reach it in just a few breaths. Even if it was the land of the two extremes, as long as Lin Rei wanted to, he could reach it in just a breath. You're really Yuna? My Yuna. At this moment, it was as if only the two of them were left in the entire world. Lin Feng acted as if he hadn't heard Lin Rei's words. He stared at Huiyun and confirmed it again with a trembling voice. When he had been locked up in the dungeon, there hadn't been a moment when he hadn't thought of reuniting with his wife, Huiyun. Unfortunately, those dark days had completely cut off that thought. In his opinion, that kind of thinking was simply unrealistic. How could he possibly reunite with his wife in that kind of situation? Even if he had been lucky enough to survive, he wouldn't have been able to leave the dungeon. In the end, he would have died in the dungeon. But now, The wife that he had missed day and night had appeared in front of him. However, he didn't dare to believe it. Happiness had come too suddenly. It was so sudden that it felt a little unreal, especially his wife's face. After more than 10 years, her hair might not have turned white, but there wasn't even a single wrinkle on her face. She looked just like when they had first met when they were young. It was also because of this that he didn't dare to acknowledge her. However, Huiyun didn't think so. Originally, it was a joyous occasion for husband and wife to reunite. However, her husband's repeated doubts and confirmations caused Huiyun's fiery temper to surge. I say, do you want to die? If I'm not your wife, who else is? Or have you been seeing someone else outside during this period of time? The tone of the conversation suddenly changed. There was no longer any sense of reunion after a long separation. She stepped forward and pinched Lin Feng's ear. She looked at him as if he wanted to die. Mother, is this really all right? Looking at his mother's appearance, Lin Rei felt a chill in his heart. Although he knew that his mother had this side of her, he hadn't seen it for a long time. Looking at Lin Feng's gaze, Lin Rei was full of sympathy. He admired his father's fearless spirit. He didn't know how the two of them got along so well. However, a scene that made Lin Rei's jaw drop even more happened. Lin Feng, who was originally full of doubts, had his ear pinched. After being reprimanded by Huiyun, he didn't laugh. Instead, he laughed. Ha ha! Yes, this is the feeling. You are indeed my Yun. Lin Feng's current appearance was a living masochist. He really couldn't believe his father's way of reuniting with her. TSK, TSK, TSK. That's too rough. I'm afraid this method is the only one since ancient times. His face was full of smiles. If Ing were here to see the smile on Lin Rei's face, she would definitely be very happy. You old fart. We haven't seen each other for a few years, and you're already questioning me. As she said that, she increased the strength of her hand. I say, Yunner, can you be a little gentler? Also, our son is at the side. Can you give him some face? Lin Feng smiled bitterly. At this moment, he believed that the person who was there before was his son, Lin Rei. Mother, father didn't want to believe that I was his son. Damn, son, how can you cheat your father like this? Lin Feng was dumbfounded. This mother of Ker's strength was too much. Chapter 1129. What? Seeing the sad expression on her son's face, Huiyun didn't want to think too much. She turned her head and looked at her husband. That pair of murderous eyes made Lin Feng's hair stand on end. I say, Lin Feng, you're really something. How many years has it been since we last met? What? You don't even recognize your son. Oh, then according to what you mean, this son isn't yours. I thought for a while, but in the end, I didn't say anything. That look of hers made Lin Rei very happy. That, Mom, I'll go out first. Lin Rei understood that the two probably had a lot to say. Lin Rei didn't disturb them and tactfully chose to leave. Okay, you go. Huiyun nodded in agreement. I say, don't go, let's talk for a while. When Lin Rei left, Lin Feng didn't want to. Now that Lin Rei left, who knew what would happen next? Before, when Lin Rei was here, his safety was guaranteed. Forget it. I'll go out and take care of some things. After that, we'll leave this place. Saying that, without waiting for the two to speak, he turned and left the cave. When Lin Rei left, Huiyun's man-eating eyes appeared. Then, she reached out her hand and hammered Lin Feng's chest. Tears flowed down her eyes uncontrollably. She was indescribably sad. However, this kind of sadness in Huiyun's appearance could be described as a beauty crying. You old bastard, you didn't come back for so many years. We all thought that you died in that war, you. In the next moment, Huiyun's complaining voice came from the cave. At the entrance of the cave, hearing the voice coming from the cave behind him, a smile appeared on Lin Rei's face. In the end, she's still a woman. I wonder how the two of them are doing. Suddenly, the two figures appeared in Lin Rei's mind. After being away for so long, Lin Rei was really worried about the two of them. The more he thought about it, the more anxious he was to return to the God realm. Lin Rei's family was complete, but the entire Guangyun Empire and even the entire Destiny realm had undergone an unprecedented change. After Lin Rei left, the Scarlet Flame Tiger slaughtered the entire Fengyun sect with a single kick. Even the animals of the Fengyun sect were all killed. This incident was too bizarre. The Fengyun sect was one of the few major sects in the Destiny realm. The spies of the other empires and sects naturally wouldn't let go of this news. The moment this matter was discovered, the news of the Fengyun sect's destruction reached the ears of the empires and other sections. To be able to annihilate the Fengyun sect, that person's cultivation could be said to be very powerful. Therefore, after the various sects and empires received the news, they began to secretly investigate. Lin Rei was completely unaware of this. After leaving the cave, Lin Rei found Lu Changtian. At this moment, Long Yaoyang had disappeared. As for Li Huangdao and Lu Changtian, they were nowhere to be seen. The reason Lu Changtian gave was to let them all go. As for the reason, it was Long Ming. Originally, this matter was because of Long Yaoyang, but he had promised Long Ming to take care of the Long family, so he let Long Yaoyang go. Lin Rei didn't say anything about Lu Changtian's actions. In any case, he wouldn't be able to stay in this place for long. After waiting for a day or two, he would take his family and leave for the Divine Realm. At that time, he would let them go. After the Scarlet Tiger destroyed the Fengyun sect, it returned to Lin Rei's side. Shuejiao's eyes were filled with vigilance at the Scarlet Tiger's appearance. He could feel the danger from the Scarlet Tiger. In his eyes, the Scarlet Tiger was like a big furnace, and he was a small piece of iron in the furnace. He was in danger of melting at any time. Of course, the Scarlet Tiger noticed Shuejiao, but it didn't have the slightest interest in Shuejiao. In the Scarlet Tiger's eyes, Shuejiao was just an ant that wasn't worthy of its attention. After returning to Lin Rei's side, Lin Rei didn't take it back. Instead, he let it stay outside. After all, Lin Rei was a little distressed that it hadn't come out for a long time. Thinking about it, the Scarlet Tiger could be said to be loyal and devoted. It had been 1,000 years since he subdued the Scarlet Tiger when it was a teenager. Along the way, the Scarlet Tiger could be said to be very useful. One day passed just like that. Many things happened on this day. Lin Rei returned to his body, and Lin Feng was found. Everything was perfectly resolved after his return. At night, Lin Feng and Huiyin finally finished talking about the things that had been hidden in their hearts for many years. As for Lin Rei's matters, Huiyin naturally told Lin Feng everything in full detail. Regarding Lin Rei's changes, Lin Feng only had one thought in his heart. Lin Rei was a child. No matter how much he changed, it was the same. Regarding this, Lin Rei's heart was filled with warmth. However, he was also very speechless towards his unconventional father. He said something about not seeing each other for many years and insisted that Lin Rei make more food for him to show his filial piety. Huiyin wanted to stop this, but Lin Rei readily agreed. For such a small matter, not to mention Lin Feng, Lin Rei would do it. In the entire world, as long as Lin Feng wanted it, he would do it. Even if he wanted to become the master of the Heaven's Fate world, Lin Rei wouldn't hesitate to enslave all the creatures in the Heaven's Fate world and give them to him. In front of the bonfire, Lin Rei and his family sat next to it. The Scarlet Tiger naturally couldn't leave Lin Rei. However, at this moment, the Scarlet Tiger's appearance was very small. It was a living beauty killer. Lu Changtian also didn't leave. As for the others, they also stood guard in the surroundings, not daring to come close. He stretched out his hand and took out a dagger. After drawing a few strokes on his hand and adding various spices, he placed the meat on the bonfire again. Suddenly, a fragrant aroma filled the air. The result was that when everyone smelled this sound, they couldn't help but swallow their laughter. I didn't expect my son to be so good at cooking. Looks like we're going to be blessed in the future. Yeah, I didn't expect it either. Huiyin was very shocked by Lin Rei's barbecue. She didn't expect her son's barbecue to be so mouth-watering before his cultivation reached the heavens. Of course, while Huiyin and Lu Changtian were shocked, the Scarlet Tiger couldn't help but say, Brother Lay's cooking is very good. Not only the barbecue, everything he makes is delicious. In this world, only Brother Lay's food is the most delicious thing in the world. Yes, yes, yes. Little Tiger is right. Huiyun was already shocked that the scarlet tiger could talk. Although its original form was a little scary, Huiyun couldn't wait to like its current appearance. Time passed little by little. The barbecue was finally done. After distributing it to Huiyun and the others, they began to eat. Wow, it smells so good. Yes, it smells so good. Looks like Ray will have to take care of cooking in the future. Looking at his parents, Lin Ray was speechless. However, he didn't refute. Mother, I'm leaving. Are you and father leaving with me or staying here? Chapter 1130. In the cave, Huiyun and her husband were lying on the bed. Huiyun was snuggling up to her husband, but her mind was filled with the words Lin Ray said. I'm leaving. Do you want to come with me or stay here? This sentence was like a demon's voice lingering in Huiyun's mind. It was as if it was engraved in her mind. She had never thought about this question. It could even be said that she had never thought that her son would leave this domain before. What's wrong? Noticing the strangeness of his wife, Lin Feng looked down at his wife in his arms. Are you still worried about what Ray said just now? In fact, there was no need to ask to know the whole story of this matter. He was also hesitating, but it was not as obvious as Huiyun. Sigh. Looking up at her husband, Huiyun's face was full of embarrassment and hesitation. Aren't you worried? Leave this domain. This is our home. If we leave just like this, isn't it what? Lin Feng asked. If you marry, you follow your husband. If your husband dies, you follow his son. We cannot be separated from Lei, for the rest of our lives. Besides, your husband has not been able to see Lei Er's growth all these years. My heart is filled with regret. Leave. Lin Feng decided. Huiyun also had an answer in her heart. However, to be honest, it was normal for her to be reluctant to leave the Destiny domain so soon. After all her relatives and friends were here. Yes, leave. Leave with Ray. With that, he patted his wife's back and continued. Okay, go to sleep. Since you've decided, then let's do it. With that, Lin Feng closed his eyes and fell asleep. For so many years, Lin Feng could be said to have not slept well. Now that he was safe, his tense heart was completely relaxed. He also no longer had the fear from before. In just an instant, Lin Feng fell asleep. In response, Huiyun, who was lying on Lin Feng's body, looked at her sleeping husband with a trace of heartache on her face. She casually closed her eyes and fell asleep. In another cave, Lin Ray did not sleep. To be honest, he was a little worried. He was worried that his parents did not want to leave. If that was the case, what choice would he have? He had to think about this problem carefully. After all, he did not want his family to stay in this barren place. In this place, even if they cultivated to the sense realm, they would not be able to escape the passage of time and eventually turn into a pile of yellow soil. Linley wouldn't allow this to happen, nor would he allow it to happen. Sigh, you have too many worries. This is not a good thing for your future cultivation. Just as Lin Ray was deep in thought, the little dragon's voice sounded. I know what you want to say. He had long been tired of listening to the little dragon's speech. After that, it would just say that the Tendo was ruthless and cultivation was even more ruthless. There should be a path of ruthlessness, and there should be feelings after cooling down. Ah, you brat. Looking at Lin Ray, the little dragon was very helpless. He really could not do anything to Lin Ray. I hope they choose to leave with me. Lin Ray did not think about it anymore. The more he thought about it, the more frustrated he felt. By the way, why did you come this time? Don't tell me you suddenly missed me. So you came to find me. You're right. The little dragon did not intend to hide it. Very good things have happened in the Holy Realm during this period. So the system has decided to let you enter the Holy Realm in advance and then explore. You might be able to find an opportunity to break through in the chaos this time. Holy Realm? Chaos? The Holy Realm was a place he had yearned for a long time. Now that he heard the word chaos, He frowned slightly and said in a deep voice, "What's going on? Aren't you in the God realm? How do you know about the chaos in the Holy Realm? Also, what happened in the Holy Realm that made you come from so far away to find me and let me end the trial in advance?" At this moment, Lin Ray had a bad premonition. Although the little dragon's face did not have any expression, Lin Ray could feel that the matter this time was very serious. Sure enough, the little dragon's next words made Lin Ray completely speechless. "A young all-heaven's dusk has appeared in the Holy Realm. If you can obtain it, it'll be of great help to you in the future, so I came. You also know that there are many powerhouses in the Holy Realm. I hope that you can obtain the all-heaven's dusk and improve your cultivation in this trial, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Moreover, you still have to make a name for yourself in the Holy Realm. This will be of great help to the Xuanzong Sect when they enter the Holy Realm. All Heaven's Dusk. Trial?" Looking up at the little dragon, Lin Ray had the urge to strangle him to death. He did not know what the All Heaven's Dusk was, but since it could cause everyone in the Holy Realm to fight over it, this thing would definitely not be seen. As for the trial, it was even more nonsense. With his current realm, not to mention the trial, it would be good enough if he could survive in the Holy Realm. "Why are you scared?" Seeing that Lin Ray was not frowning, the little dragon teased. "You have to understand that the All Heaven's Dusk is very powerful. It can be said that its existence is not weaker than the blood dragon at all. It's even stronger than the blood dragon's bloodline. You?" Waiting for the little dragon, Lin Ray's urge to strangle him to death became even stronger. Although Lin Ray understood the little dragon understood Lin Ray even more. He knew that Lin Ray liked good things. Of course, it was even better to reap without sowing. But such a thing would not happen to him. So, are you going to do it or not? You only have 1 chance. If the All Heaven's Dusk is subdued by others, then your mother's pilgrimage of 10,000 sects will not be completed. Let me think, if the pilgrimage of 10,000 sects is not completed, then the final result is to be obliterated. If that's the case, then your family will be in deep trouble. Think about the people you've offended. If they know that you're dead, even if your son has entered the ultimate God realm, do you think he'll be able to intimidate those ants who kill without blinking an eye? F***, you're shameless. The way he looked at the little dragon changed again and again. Although on the surface, the little dragon was explaining its relationship with Lin Ray, in reality, it was clearly a kidnapping, a threat. It's up to you whether you want to go or not. Anyway, this is something you should decide. I'm not in a hurry. Anyway, I can't leave. At most, I'll spend some time looking for the next Hongmeng sovereign physique. He hurriedly said and walked to the side as if he did not care. F***CKU. The little dragon was comfortable at the moment, but he was not. Thinking about the little dragon's words, he felt helpless. It had to be said that Lin Ray was successfully tricked by the little dragon to board the pirate ship. Now it was impossible for him to get off. "You old thing, you're always like this. Can't you come up with a new trick?" As he spoke, a bottle of wine appeared in his hand. He opened the bottle cap and drank a mouthful of wine. "I'll do as you say. After I settle my parents down, I'll go to the holy world and fight for supremacy." Chapter 1131. Not bad. Those I know have come back. The little dragon's figure instantly disappeared and returned to the system. F***CK. You have a nerve to say that. Was it not forced by you? Really? Thinking of the past, Lin Ray only wanted to roll his eyes. He couldn't bear to look back. He was tricked by the system and the little dragon every time. Most importantly, he knew that there might be a pit ahead, but he had no choice but to jump into it. Thinking about it, Lin Ray couldn't stop sighing. For the entire night, Lin Ray's sighs echoed in the cave. Just like that, the sky gradually brightened. The sky turned white and a red sun slowly rose from the east. The scenery was very beautiful, especially the destiny boundary under the morning sun. It was as if it was covered in red clothes, very peaceful and quiet. Outside the cave, Lu Chantian woke up exceptionally early. Dong! Dong! A muffled sound was heard, and the earth seemed to be trembling. Long Ming and the others who were sleeping outside were all startled awake by this sound. Awake, seeing Long Ming and the others get up, Lu Chantian looked at them. He didn't feel embarrassed for waking them up. On the contrary, what made them speechless was that Lu Chantian directly began to instruct them to get to work. All right, get up and get to work. Looking at Lu Chantian, Long Ming wanted to say no. However, he didn't dare to say it out loud. He didn't have the guts. A smile appeared on his face. After hesitating for a moment, he nodded and replied, "Okay, I'll go now." Lu Chantian could understand Long Ming's feelings at this moment. However, Lu Chantian wanted this kind of feeling where he hated him but couldn't kill him. It couldn't be helped. Whoever had a harder fist would be the boss. Long Ming went to live. As for the rest, they returned to their posts and started a new day of work. As for Lu Chantian, he also found a place with a stream and began to clean up the demonic beasts on his body. The demonic beasts were very big. At least 30 people wouldn't be able to finish eating them. Lu Chantian went to hunt them early in the morning. It was also because of the demonic beasts on his back that he made such a noise and woke everyone up. Dong! When he arrived at the edge of the stream, he threw the demonic beast on his back to the ground. At some point, a dagger had appeared in his hand. Crackle, crackle. The dagger pierced through the softest part of the demonic beast's body and began to deal with it. It had to be said that under Lin Rei's constant pressure, Lu Changtian's skill in dissecting demonic beasts was extremely proficient. His movements were smooth and fluid, and he did it in one go. Not long after, Lu Changtian peeled off the entire animal skin. The bloody back was thrown into the stream by Lu Changtian and was washed away by the water. Looking up at the sky, Lu Changtian saw the red sun rising slowly in the east. The sky was bright. Lu Changtian was anxious. Looks like we have to hurry. In the Divine Valley, Lu Changtian was in charge of Lin Rei's diet and rest. Therefore, when he saw the sun gradually rising, he knew that Lin Rei was almost done. However, Lu Changtian didn't know that Lin Rei didn't sleep the whole night because of the system and the little dragon. He was very upset and was immersed in wine the whole night. Of course, a part of it was because he had been cheated, but a bigger part of it was because he hadn't had the chance to drink his treasured wine for a long time, so he wanted to make up for the lost time. Lu Changtian was busy with the stream. Long Ming didn't stay idle either. After the fire was lit, he walked to the stream and helped Lu Changtian. "Senpai, your technique is amazing." Looking at Lu Changtian's artistic dissection technique, his eyes were completely captivated. Indeed, this kind of dissection was a combination of Lin Rei's self-created dissection technique. The technique was brilliant. Of course, it wasn't only used for dissection. If it was used in battle, the scene would be very bloody. This kind of dissection technique would probably become a top-notch combat technique in the Destiny realm. Even on some cultivation planets, it would be regarded as a top-notch combat technique. After all, this kind of dissection technique was passed down from a sage. Its level could be imagined. Listening to Long Ming's flattery, a smile appeared on his face. "You brat, this thing was passed down to me by Master. If you want to learn, you can slowly practice it. Back then, I was ruthlessly tortured for a year to cultivate to this level. I'm not afraid to tell you that I'm so skilled now. At most, I can be considered skilled. If Master comes personally, the whole monster will be dissected in an instant." Just hearing this made his eyes red. Thinking of dissecting such a huge monster in an instant, that scene was absolutely shocking. All right, hurry up and get to work. Learn well. Maybe Master will be happy and teach you some combat techniques that you can use for the rest of your life. After saying that, Lu Changtian got busy again. As for Long Ming, he worked even harder than before. He looked like a calf. This brat. How could Lu Changtian not understand Long Ming's thoughts? Thinking of the scene when Lin Rei accepted him as a disciple. Thinking about it, Lu Changtian felt very lucky. If he didn't become Lin Rei's disciple, he was afraid that he would still be cooped up in that small city, being the city lord. Thinking about it, Lu Chantian felt that it was interesting. He didn't know what he was thinking at that time, but he was unwilling no matter what. In the cave, where Huiyun was, the two had already put on their clothes. Looking at her husband beside her, Huiyun finally believed that this wasn't a dream. She believed that her husband had finally returned. Great, the family is finally reunited. She couldn't help but say this, and her face was full of happiness. Yes, we are finally reunited. Thinking of all the things that had happened over the years, Lin Feng sighed in his heart. Let's go. She reached out and took her husband's hand and walked out of the cave. Although they had been husband and wife for a long time, at this moment, the two were like a couple who had just fallen in love and were very tired of each other. Outside the cave, seeing Huiyun and her husband come out, Lu Chantian hurriedly got up and saluted. Grand Mistress, Grand Master, good morning. Breakfast will be ready soon. But now that we are here, that's all, so make do with it. Hey, Grandmaster, this address. Hearing the young man call him Grandmaster, Lin Feng felt strange in his heart. He is Rei's disciple. It's normal for him to call you Grandmaster. You don't have to feel pressured or burdened. Saying this, she nodded to Lu Chantian. It's okay. Go ahead. Saying this, the two came to the fire and sat down. Where's Rei? Hasn't he gotten up yet? Looking around, Huiyun didn't see her son, so she asked Lu Chantian. Well, yes, Master will wake up in a while. Lu Chantian nodded in response. When we were in the Divine Valley, Master always woke up at this time. Is that so? Hearing this, Huiyun felt disappointed, thinking that as a mother, she didn't know her son's work and rest habits. She didn't even know much about her son. Thinking about it, she felt a little ridiculous. It's okay. There will be a chance in the future. Looking at his wife's disappointed expression, Lin Feng reached out and grabbed Huiyun's hand, softly comforting her. That you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.